Tyler Danberg. Day 7 of Ohio State football fall camp is in the books. Earlier today, quarterback Julian Sand and wideout Jeremiah Smith were named preseason All-Americans by ESPN. Countdown to kickoff versus Ball State now just 23 days. NFL, Bengals host the Lions in their preseason opener tonight at 7. Head coach Zach Taylor said quarterback Joe Burrow and new defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence will play but will be limited. Then on Saturday, the Browns visit the Bears at 1. Deshaun Watson will start at quarterback, with Shedeur Sanders starting the next game August 22nd versus the Bills. Baseball, Guardians visit the Tigers at 1:10 today, while the Reds visit the White Sox at 2:10. Hear the game on the Fan 2. This update is brought to you by Roosters. Roosters is giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. Tickets, sideline passes, and trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Register today at roosterswings.com.
It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
Welcome to Rothman and Ice, the On the Money takeover. I am Dave Biddle, joined by Scotty Vegas, Isaiah Jacob at the controls. You were just saying before the show, Scotty, this feels like Sunday.
It really does.
How could it not?
I know, right? Yeah, you and I have been doing On the Money together. This week marks 7 years, and so we're used to doing this every Sunday morning together for the last 7 years, and now we're doing it on a Thursday afternoon.
This is our second time filling in for both Anthony and Maddie on their show. The last time we did it was, I believe, when they were playing Australia, or maybe it was Paraguay.
Yes.
We had a watch party at the casino for the World Cup games.
We did spend that first segment really breaking down the World Cup, really getting deep and involved with World Cup. Thank goodness that's over, and we can talk a lot of Ohio State football today.
Instead of football, we're going to talk a lot of football. Yeah, I mean, camp is off and running. We're going to talk a lot of Ohio State football on the show. We're going to talk NFL. Bengals have their first preseason game tonight against the Lions in Cincinnati. Browns will have their first game on Saturday. Deshaun Watson will start the first game, and then Shedeur Sanders will start the second game. We'll get into all that. We're going to have a Scotty Doesn't Know segment. We got a great show for you guys. Let's start out with Ohio State football. It was interesting talking with Arthur Smith yesterday, the new offensive coordinator for Ohio State. We only got him once in the spring. I think we're only going to get him once in the preseason, but he's really good with the media. And he was asked a really good question by my friend Tony Gerderman. He was like, asked him about how important is it to mix up the cadence and to do this and that, if you're a quarterback and not let the defense kind of be able to tee off. And he gave a really long, in-depth answer about how important it is to mix up the cadence and how important it is to mix up your tempo. And then the follow-up question was that a big part of Ohio State's problem last year in the postseason when Miami was they just flat out said, the Hurricanes players, we knew their cadence. We knew they were going slow. We could just time it perfectly. And Arthur Smith gave a great response. He kind of laughed. He goes, nice job leading me into that question. He's like, I'm no rookie. I've been around the block a little bit. He said it with a smile on his face. He's like, I respect everybody that was here last year. He's like, I wasn't here, so I'm not going to answer that question. Translation, yes, that was a big
No doubt, right? And that's one of the things. So you, me, and Isaiah's behind the glass here today for TLC. But here's the deal. So we spent 50 hours between the three of us this last week at camp, and there's a lot of different storylines to get into, and I think the Isaiah West and Bo Jackson, the backfield is one, but I think for me kind of the most interesting storyline of the whole thing is Arthur Smith and the offense and what the changes are going to be and what's going to be different. So now that we're about a week into camp, you've already talked about the cadence. Is there any other things that you could see Arthur Smith changing? Because when we were out there, Dave, I felt like I was watching Ohio State practice a little bit more of play action. That was something that I noticed right away. It's like, oh my gosh, Julian's saying under center more, a little play action, and that was being worked on. Is there anything else, do you think, with Arthur Smith that we will see changed?
That's the big thing, and that's so minor. People are like, wait a minute, going under center and doing play action, that's basic football. But how often did Ohio State do that last year? Not very much. They're still going to be in the shotgun. I mean, he estimated 50-50. He's not going to tell you exactly what's going on, but they will be under center more this year. They will do more play action, and so far, it's been looking good. I think Julian Sand's been very sharp in camp. And I mean, we've seen it before, man. I mean, when Ryan Day has an offensive coordinator he can trust, that's just a different ball game. 2024, he was able to step back a little bit. Obviously, Ryan Day is always going to be heavily involved in the offense. But when you had Chip Kelly here, he was able to take a little bit of a step back. They were one of the best teams in the country, Scotty, in short yardage, third down, fourth down, touchdown efficiency in the red zone. And then they reverted to being one of the worst teams in the country in all of those categories last year. I think Arthur Smith is going to be a huge upgrade. And I very much appreciate and respect what Brian Hartline did here as the wide receiver coach and wide receiver recruit. I mean, best ever. Not just the best like during his time, the best ever, I would submit, at recruiting wide receivers and developing them. I think he was over his head as an offensive coordinator. I do think that this might sound weird. He could be a good head coach if he has the right coordinators, because he's a great recruiter. I just didn't think he was much of a tactician. I think Arthur Smith, with his last 7 years, he was calling plays in the NFL. First for the Titans as offensive coordinator. Then when he was the Atlanta Falcons head coach for 3 years, he was calling plays. And then the last 2 years for the Steelers. I just think that was a home run hire for Ryan Day. I know there's different opinions out there, but the good thing is about sports, we're about to find out.
Well, and the disappointing thing was how it ended with Brian Hartline, because, I mean, we all do have to give Hartline a ton of credit for what he did in the receivers that he brought in. The problem was the way the college football calendar was set up. Brian Hartline had to leave, right? Had to leave at the worst possible time as you're getting ready to prepare for a Big Ten championship. It's announced that he's going to be taking the South Florida job. So, of course, he's going to be divided as you're making your postseason run and playing the most important time. So there's a lot of people that get on Brian Hartline about how it ended, but blame the calendar more so than Brian Hartline and how things went down.
So, like, during spring ball, like Isaiah West and Bo Jackson, the running backs, they had shoulder scopes. Nothing serious. We were told they'll both be fine, and they are. At least Isaiah West is. Now, tell the story about our friend Jeff Thidoff and Bo Jackson's shoulder.
This
one
is
of the first 3 days of camp. Tito. Yep. Go ahead.
So it was back in April. We went out to this event. It was a sports trivia night, which we happened to finish tied for first.
Oh, so it wasn't during camp. Sorry.
No.
It was back in April. My bad. My bad, guys.
It was right around spring game time. But, of course, Bo Jackson had sat out the spring with the injury. Well, with the shoulder surgery and injury. And so Bo Jackson was nice enough to, I'm going to give my time. This is part of a charity event. He was out there. And so the cool thing is Tito and I, Jeff Thidoff, we get on stage and we have Bo Jackson on stage. And so we're talking with him. And one of the very first questions is Tito asking about that shoulder. How's that shoulder feeling? I know you just had surgery on it. And then I think out of instinct, but Tito just slapped him right in the shoulder as he's asking the question. So he's like, hey, so Bo, tell us a little bit about that, how that shoulder is doing, and slap on the shoulder. And it wasn't like a little tap. It wasn't like
it should have been like Bo answered the question, and then Tito's like, how's it feel now after I slapped it?
Exactly. It wasn't like a little rub some dirt on it type of thing. No, it was a slap. And you could see him wince. And you could see there were hundreds of people in this ballroom. And they were all like,
now we know.
What just happened? What did he just slap our starting running back's shoulder right after surgery? And oh my gosh. Yeah. So one of the huge stories of fall camp has been that Bo Jackson has been on playing with the twos more so, and Isaiah West has taken the step. And part of it is probably a little bit about the recovery to injury and how great of an offseason Isaiah West has had. But I'm blaming our friend Jeffrey Tito Thidoff for Bo Jackson and his slow recovery here.
I think that's a safe bet. I mean, there's, obviously Isaiah West has had a tremendous offseason. His body looks like it's chiseled out of granite. He's gone from 210 pounds-ish to 220, runs violently. But I think the big story is Tito.
It's the Tito touch, it seems like.
And Isaiah, you were filming the whole thing.
Yes.
You caught the whole thing on video. You can't tell me that you weren't wincing when he did that.
I believe he asked him, he's like, is it this shoulder or the other one? And how's it feeling? And he was like, yes, it's the one that you're massaging right now.
Right.
Mr. Tito. It was also nice to meet you 3 minutes ago. Thanks for massaging my shoulder.
Yeah. I don't think we'll necessarily be asked back at that great event because Tito is injuring their guests.
Speaking of massages, you being a Browns fan, you good with Deshaun being the starter on Saturday?
I'm fine with them splitting time, him and Shador. Someone's got to earn it. I feel like Deshaun, everything that's coming out of camp right now, it seems like he's ahead in the competition from what Todd Monken's been saying, but they're still yet to announce a starter for week 1. But it feels like, I think it's going to be Deshaun. I think it's easier to go from Deshaun to Shador than it is to go from Shador to Deshaun midseason. And so it feels written on the wall for me. It has pretty much the whole offseason. But I'll see how they play tonight. And it's funny because out of camp, the one thing that we've heard about Deshaun is that he's been throwing a ton of interceptions. Throughout all of camp, I think he's thrown, 11 interceptions through camp. And so that's the one thing that we'll be watching is the questionable decision-making, which he is a little bit known for.
Very interesting. I had to throw that in there. Back to Ohio State real quick. Jay Timmons, as you wrote down in our show sheet. I mean, that's a story. Is he going to be a starter? Maybe. I mean, right now he's been running with the ones a lot at nickel. At the very least, he's going to play a lot like Devin Sanchez did last year. And Devin started one game, because one of the guys was banged up. But I believe it was Jermaine Matthews. Maybe it was IGB. So he started one game, but he played a ton of snaps as like the top backup. So I think at the very least, Jay Timmons, who I watched his father for like 11 years tear up my Bengals. Lawrence Timmons was a first-round pick by the Steelers in like 2007. Jay Timmons is showing out. It wasn't like he was like some under-the-radar recruit. He was a big-time recruit, but we can expect to see a lot of number 25 out there this year, Scotty.
Yeah, and the other thing is Brandon Ennis. That was another availability that we've seen him talking to the media quite a bit over the last couple days. It's funny because it feels like every year there is an athlete that kind of the fans kind of look to and kind of become a little bit of a punching bag. And Brandon Ennis has been that a little bit for Ohio State. And, some people, like to kind of rib him on social media and message boards and things like that. And I want to kind of get deeper into that discussion a bit because, the question is, will he be wide receiver number 2 for Ohio State? Will he be wide receiver number 3? Will he fall a little bit further down on the depth chart? There's a lot of pressing questions that I have for you, Dave, and I can't wait to get into it.
I was going to say that hopefully that's one of the questions you're going to ask me. Scotty's going to ask me various questions on Ohio State football next. This is Rothman and Ice.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Your next getaway is closer than you think at your Columbus Zoo. Baby elephants, playful tigers, hungry giraffes. Explore North America Trek and discover rescued bear cubs, eagles, and more. Plan your visit today at columbuszoo.org.
Newman Roofing is proud to sponsor The Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat Fan Drive. Help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. Purchase new box fans and take them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station or buy online. For more information, visit 10tv.com/beattheheat or lifecarealliance.org.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros, no subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, COMER cross.com.
At Great Lakes Hyundai, the savings are so good.
It's
It's time for the summer sunset sale at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, lease a new 26 Tucson SE for $149 per month for 36 months. $149 a month. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit, $49.95 down plus tax title first month payment. 7,500 miles per year, ends 8/31.
Common Man and Bob Capace here. So, Bob, you got this ring builder thing on your website.
Yep, you pick the diamond, the setting, customize your own engagement ring before you even come in this store.
I actually tried it.
You did?
It was ridiculously easy.
See, if Common Man can build a perfect ring online,
Anybody can, because I'm dumb.
then book an appointment and we'll help make it exactly the way you designed it.
That's why I always tell people, I know a guy. You too can design your own engagement ring with the ring builder at worthingtonjewelers.com. If I can do it, anyone can.
Worthington Jewelers, where Columbus gets engaged.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app, free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
Do you know what to do if you're stuck on the railroad crossing? Get out of your vehicle. If a train is not approaching, find the blue and white emergency notification system sign on the traffic signs at the crossing. For help, call the number on the sign and give them the crossing number so they know your location and can alert train traffic. Remember, find the blue and white to save your life. For more information, visit oli.org.
Buckeye Replay this summer takes you back to some of the greatest comebacks in Ohio State football history.
The Buckeyes have something for the LSU Tigers in 1988.
Hear Buckeye Replay this Saturday at 4 p.m. on The Fan.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see a partly cloudy sky for the rest of the day. Watching for a chance of showers and a few thunderstorms to arrive toward the evening hours out of the west. Otherwise, it'll be a humid afternoon with highs in the mid-80s. Chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms overnight. Could be a localized downpour with lows around 70. For the day tomorrow, chance of showers and storms mainly in the morning. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy and 82. For The Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
No hot takes, no dancing, plenty of stupid. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. These two have a ton in common. Anthony loves hockey, and Matty's always cold. This is Rothman and Ice.
Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas in for our really good friends, Anthony Rothman and Matty Ice Hayes today. We have set the over-under now on mentioning on the money instead of Rothman and Ice at under a half. So we got to stay under the on the money references here.
So we have to have zero on the when we're saying like welcome back or like welcome to like the show.
Yes.
It has to be Rothman and Ice 100% of the time.
100%.
If we screw up once,
we got to drink.
Then
no, we got to run.
And then
we got to run till we can't eat supper.
And then we're going out, and whoever does it, it could be Isaiah. Isaiah could chime in like here on the money. Then Isaiah's buying dinner tonight after the show.
Okay, that works. All
there
right.
You go.
If you do it, then you owe the other two dinner for the night. All right, that
Sounds
works
good.
perfectly. All right, Dave, you've been on the Ohio State beat for 25 years, doing an incredible job, and I know that you've been out at camp the last week, and you've got a lot of observations and a lot of good stuff you put out there on Bucknuts already. But I've got some burning questions that I have for you about Ohio State football. First, let's start out with the running back position. And for this season, I want you to make a prediction. Who ends up with more carries and rushing yards? Is it Bo Jackson or is it Isaiah West?
Gosh, it's so close. And this would have been a no-doubter for me. Even knowing that Isaiah West was having a tremendous offseason, I would have said 100% Bo Jackson. I'll stick with Bo. I think he's going to have, but it's going to be 1A and 1B, a lot like what we saw, or 1A and 1A, like what we saw 2 years ago, and that worked out pretty well with Travion and Quinshawn. I think it's going to be a lot like that. I'll go with Bo.
Okay. I thought you were going to go Isaiah West.
I keep bouncing back and forth. I mean, I don't know. I just it's going to be close. it'll probably come down to whoever gets like banged up more between the two.
All right.
Because I think they're planning on playing and they like Jacoby Jackson a lot as that number 3 guy. And Legend Bay then as the 4th guy, kind of that joker, as I call him. Like they're going to mix him in a little bit. We'll see how much.
It's going to be fun to follow. I'm circling for you, Bo Jackson. If I ask you on Sunday, you'll probably go back to Isaiah West because you've gone back and forth on that. It's really tough. It's a 50-50 call, right? So,
and it's a good thing for Buckeye fans. If you're a Buckeye fan out there, you're like, wait a minute, has Bo taken a step back? Well, maybe because Tito like smacked his shoulder, but like, no, Bo looks good to me. So this is like a good thing if you're a Buckeye fan. Like just means Isaiah West has just like taken it to the next level. I mean, we'll see. But I think this is a great thing if you're a Buckeye fan.
Well, it reminds you of a couple years ago when you had Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins, and now you need multiple backs to be great in a season to be great. Question number 2, who finishes with the second most receptions and receiving yards on this team?
This is another one that I was wrong. Well, maybe I'll end up being right. I was screaming from the mountaintops it's going to be Brandon Ennis, and maybe it will be. And Jeremiah Smith is not a BSer. He said you're going to see a different Brandon Ennis this year. And really, Brandon wasn't even the 3rd receiver last year because Max Clare was really the slot receiver. Obviously, they have Jeremiah and Carnell Tate, but Max Clare was really the starting slot receiver, even though Brandon technically was. And Kazmarek was more of the traditional tight end. They rolled other tight ends in there. So I still think Brandon Ennis is going to have a good year. But it's Devin McEwen.
Ooh,
Devin McEwen's going to be second in yards, receiving yards for this team. And I think receptions as well. He looks great. And again, this is a good thing for Ohio State because Chris Henry Jr. is going to play a lot. I think Brock Boyd's going to play a decent amount. We'll see about Kyle Parker. Haven't seen much of him. I think he's been a little banged up. Brock Boyd catches everything. Chris Henry Jr. is going to play, but as a freshman, as we know, I mean, Carnell Tate caught all of 18 balls as a freshman. Ends up being the number 4 pick of the draft and the first wide receiver off the board. And really, other than Jeremiah Smith, or you could make an argument for Garrett Wilson, all these stud receivers that have come through here, like Emeka Egbuka, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, Marvin Harrison Jr., all these guys, Carnell Tate didn't have that huge impact as freshmen. So I love Chris Henry Jr. and I love his work ethic. But I think he's probably going to be the number 4 receiver this year.
So next question, and we love James Laurinaitis. And in James Laurinaitis, we trust. But this is a new group of linebackers. Is this new group of linebackers good enough for Ohio State's defense to be elite this year?
I think so. They're not going to be as good as they were last year. That would be completely disrespectful to Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles. And we've seen it before at Ohio State where 2 linebackers from Ohio State are taken in the first round. We saw it with A.J. Hawk and Bobby Carpenter. What we have not seen ever in the program's history was 2 linebackers taken within the first 7 picks of the draft. But I'm sure if you ask James Laurinaitis, and I have asked him about this in the spring, he feels really good about his room. And I agree with him because I think the starters are probably going to be Peyton Pierce, who looks really good. He's bulked up. He's now a 3rd-year guy, and they've always been talking him up. They brought in Christian Allegro from Wisconsin. He's looking good. So just those 2 guys I feel good about. But they also feel really good about Riley Pettijohn, who's been rolling in there with the ones. TJ Alford. Both those guys are 2nd-year guys that were big-time recruits, played as freshmen last year. And seeing Riley Pettijohn out there running with the ones, that's encouraging. I think they're going to use more 3 linebacker sets than they did last year. They use some. I mean, Peyton Pierce was out there a decent amount with Arvell and Sonny, but I think they're going to use more 3 linebacker sets this year. Again, TJ Alford being your 4th linebacker, that's good business. And then they're pretty deep, too, because Garrett Stover ending his 3rd year. Sincere Johnson might not play a lot as a freshman, but he'll play, and he's going to be a stud. This dude looks like he is like an NFL player right now, Scotty. Like, about time Ohio State got a big-time prospect from Cleveland Glenville, right?
Right.
We've got jokes, but Sincere Johnson looks great. I mean, they got other guys, too, that I'm leaving out. So is the linebacking core going to be as good as it was last year? No, I think that'd be foolish to say. Will it be good enough to help Ohio State win the national championship? I believe so, yes.
All right, this next question is the one I was most excited to ask you today, and it puts you on the spot a little bit because it's a wide-open question, but it seems like every year Ohio State has a star that when in the preseason we don't even think about this player, or at least is seldom talked about. But who is the Buckeye that isn't getting a ton of coverage, isn't being talked about a lot right now, but you think breaks out and has a huge year this year?
Gosh, there's just so much coverage of this team. I would have said coming into camp Jay Timmons, but we already talked about him. James Smith is running with the 2s. I don't know if he's under the radar though.
I think that's a fair one.
Yeah, because I mean, James Smith so far in camp, and guys, we haven't been out there like after they moved into the hotel, and they're really getting after it this week. They're playing some real football out there this week. James Smith running with the twos right now, it's like, okay, I'll be surprised if he's not either a starter or playing starter snaps. I think they're going to rotate a lot more at D tackle. They don't have an absolute stud, in my opinion, like Caden McDonald. I think we forget. I mean, I almost forgot about this. Caden McDonald was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year and was a unanimous first-team All-American. Mm-hmm. Unanimous. Not even consensus. Unanimous first-team All-American. Those are big shoes to fill. Caden Curry was a first-team All-Big Ten pick at defensive end, had 11 sacks, led the team with sacks and tackles for loss with 16.5. But I think there's strength in numbers there. I think they have better depth than they did last year, bringing in James Smith and John Walker from the portal at D tackle, bringing in Quay Rousseau at defensive end. So I think you're going to have Kenyatta Jackson, and it sounds like Bo Atkinson's going to be the other starting defensive end to start the season. And a lot of Ohio State fans were nonplussed when they heard that being reported. But I think we have to remember, even though Bo Atkinson didn't do much last year at Ohio State, he was really good 2 years ago at North Carolina, 7.5 sacks. And everybody in the program, Scotty, says that Bo Atkinson had a tremendous offseason. So, but again, there's strength in numbers there. If Bo is the starter, you're going to have Quay Rousseau, who's going to play a lot. You're going to have Zion Grady, who's going to play a lot. And then Will Smith Jr. is a guy I think a lot of people have overlooked. I guess, yeah, he'll play. Right now, Will Smith Jr. is running with the ones at One Tech D tackle next to Edric Houston. So you're going to have Will Smith Jr., Edric Houston, James Smith, John Walker. And I think Jason Moore finally now is a fourth-year player. He looks good. He's huge. He's 6'6", 316. Other than Jameer Perez, he's the heaviest of the D tackles. Jameer Perez is about 350. I love that. I think Jameer Perez, I've got another guy from Glenville. About time we got somebody from Glenville. I think he's going to be a stud here. I don't know if it's going to be this year, but Jameer Perez is really the only true one tech they have. I think we're going to see a deep rotation on the defensive line this year.
So I'm keeping score here, though. All these questions, I'm circling or I'm writing down. Good. I need one name out of you. Okay. One name. Who is the breakout star that's not being talked about enough?
James Smith.
James Smith. Okay. I love that because we saw him at camp, and you talk about personality. That dude is awesome. One other name I wanted to bring up because you talked about big shoes to fill, and Earl Little Jr. has some massive shoes to fill right on this defense. I'm curious for you, how good do you think he can be? Because Florida State was a team that had struggled, and he comes in here, and we're talking about Caleb Downs. Now, Brandon Innes has talked up Earl Little Jr. in his short time of practicing with Ohio State. What have you seen so far from him?
Yeah, it's interesting. We haven't seen them play real football, but you talk to all the coaches and the players are like, this guy is just nasty. He loves being physical. Now he didn't have surgery on it, but he did have a little banged up shoulder. That concerns me, the way he plays, because he just throws his body around. I love it. I think he's going to be, and I thought he might be the nickel. They've been playing him at just regular safety, him and Jalen McClain. I think Jalen McClain is a definite breakout candidate. I thought he was good as a first-year starter last year, as a second-year guy, now as a third-year guy. And Scotty, the fact they brought Jalen McClain to Big Ten meetings said a lot to me. Big Ten media days. You only bring three guys. They brought Jeremiah Smith, Julian Sayin, and Jalen McClain. One defensive guy, and it was Jalen McClain. I think he's going to be have a huge year. And to answer your question about Earl Little, I think he's going to have a good year. I'm a little worried about the shoulder. I've had people who cover a Florida State tell me he's a dude, but watch that shoulder because he loves to throw his body around. So that's a minor concern, but they got decent depth there because you have Terry Moore there, the transfer from Duke. You have Leroy Roker entering his third year, who's getting a lot of run there. So, and they got a freshman named Blaine Bradford that can play at safety as well. But we'll see. I mean, it's going to be really tough losing Caleb Downs, but Jalen McClain's going to take on a lot of those responsibilities especially as far as getting guys lined up. I think Peyton Pierce at linebacker will have the green dot on his helmet, but Jalen McClain is definitely a leader of this team.
So I'm redesigning my Buckeye basement. There's a lot of new pictures that I need to put up. There's a lot of iconic Ohio State photos, and we're going to get into what the most iconic photos are in Ohio State history in 2 minutes right here on Rothman and Ice.
If you dread dealing with your insurance more than you dread build-it-yourself furniture, with extremely vague instructions.
What are these? Hieroglyphics?
Then you might have Insuranoia. You should have NJM Insurance. They go to great lengths to do what's best for their policyholders.
Prepare for cooler weather ahead at your local AAA Tire and Auto Service. Their fall maintenance package includes an oil change, tire rotation, windshield wiper replacement, and more for just $119.99. Offer valid through August 31st. See store for details.
On this episode of Science Stuff, we're examining the fastest things on the planet, like the cheetah. It can reach a land speed of over... probably having an off day happens to everybody, but here is the American race car. People love the thrill of the... Okay. Next up is the Falcon. No, all right. Oh, Great Caesar's ghost, what was that? Why, I think we've found the fastest... Let's watch in slow motion.
Hi, it's Alex, the friendly Apex.
It's Apex Pros, the pros who knows. They're the fastest thing on the planet. When you have a problem with your plumbing, furnace, air conditioner, or electrical system, Apex Pros gets to you faster than apparently everything. Leaves are blown from trees. Paint is stripped from buildings. Mothers clutch their children's hands. Because when you have something broken in your plumbing, HVAC, or electrical, you don't want to wait.
Columbus loves Apex Pros. ApexPros.com.
Are you ready to tackle those home projects? Whether it's a new patio, fresh paint, or just some more space, now's the perfect time to make it happen with a home equity loan from CME Federal Credit Union. You'll get an introductory 3.99% APR for 12 months, giving you the flexibility to take on those dream house projects. Your home's next chapter starts at CME. Visit CMEFCU.org to apply today and to get your plans underway. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony can follow direction very well as long as he first prints out MapQuest. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Welcome back to Rothman and Ice on the Fan. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, and Isaiah Jacob filling in for the A-team today. Anthony, Maddie are off today. So is Cole. So OTM takeover is what we're calling it today. All right, there's been so many cool Ohio State pictures over the years, like not to spoil it, but Scotty, one of my favorites, actually my favorite period, is Eddie George in 1995, where it looks like he's running away from the entire Notre Dame defense. That's my number one, but we're going to give our top four in whatever order. If we could put 4 Ohio State pictures on our wall in our man cave, or if our wife would let us into the family room, which would
the
never
kitchen,
which would never.
Let's put it up in the kitchen.
Which would never happen, but we can pretend. Yeah, let's go with the man cave. We're going to give our top 4 in whatever order. So I already gave my top one. Eddie George in 1995 would be number 1 for me.
What's funny, Dave, is I actually have that one in my basement, and I love it very, very much. And that's going to be in my top 4. I don't have it at number 1. At number 1 for me, and I've got this one partially because I was at this game. But it's Curtis Samuel going into the end zone, arms spread out. Yeah, and that alternate uniform that I think is one of the few Ohio State alternate uniforms that I really liked. But Curtis Samuel going in, double overtime, partially because I was at that game is why I love that picture at number 1. But, man, that's so good.
And the only walk-off touchdown in the history of the rivalry. And I know we haven't had, overtime that long. But still, I mean, you could have had a walk-off like late in the fourth quarter, like the last second play. We've never had that in the Ohio State-Michigan game until we did. That's definitely in my top 4 as well. Isaiah, what's your favorite?
That's tough. That one's in consideration for me. If I had to lean on a favorite off rip, it would be Zeke breaking away from the Alabama defense.
That one is also in my basement.
That's a good one. 85 yards through the heart of the South. Shout out to my friends over at 11 Warriors.
What I love about that
was
one,
awesome,
too, is the picture that I have. This is so great because you got Zeke running up the sidelines, but in the picture is a very, very angry Nick Saban. Like he is like ready to throw his hat angry. And then also in the picture, and I love this, is Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart is, he's got his hands on his head like, oh, no, knowing that Ohio State was just going to beat Alabama on that run right there. That kind of clinched everything. And just seeing those two iconic head coaches in the picture and Zeke just running up the sidelines. I love that one. That's on my second wall.
If you're going like the opposite way, there's also like a really cool video out there, like on YouTube, like of the Ohio State bench going wild, and it's in slow motion as Zeke's going. So you're seeing guys like jump, and it's like they're jumping in slow motion. It's like, whoa. It is so cool. But I like that even better. Seeing the Alabama sideline, just realize, oh my God, game over. Evan Spencer taking out 2 linebackers on that play, including Trey DePriest, who spurned Ohio State for Alabama. Didn't work out well for him. All right. I got to go with Holy Buckeye.
Michael Jenkins.
We used to have it right there.
It was right up here.
And I should have stolen it because I don't know what happened to it. It's probably like in a warehouse somewhere. But like, got to go with Holy Buckeye. If they don't, obviously, if that play doesn't happen, they don't win the national championship. Purdue wins that game, and they go on and win the national championship. And still just Holy Buckeye. The whole thing is cool. And Michael Jenkins had so many clutch catches in the national championship game that year, 4th and 14. Hello. And Krenzel put that on a dime. I get it. But like Michael Jenkins, Mr. Clutch, probably one of the more underrated Ohio State players in history, in my opinion. So I got to go with Holy Buckeye in my top 4.
So I'm going to go back to mid to late 90s. And Andy Katzenmoyer has a photo where he's wearing the visor, and it was against Missouri. And it was the same game where he put a hit on Colby Jones so hard that he took him down. Right? It was just like it almost reminded me of the Jadeveon Clowney when he tackled the Michigan player. It was that hard of a hit. Only it was Andy Katzenmoyer coming in and getting Colby Jones, and it's such a good one. But the picture itself has the visor of Katzenmoyer just staring forward and a bunch of Missouri players in his visor. I love that one so much. And I even asked Andy about that and that picture and that visor. And he's like, yeah, he's really proud of that one. So I absolutely would put that on wall number 3 for me.
That changed the entire game. Like I wasn't there. That game was at Missouri. It was in 1997. I'm watching it. Missouri had the lead 10-7. Katzenmoyer just absolutely destroyed the quarterback. To his credit, the quarterback, Corby Jones, or is it Colby? Corby. Corby. I think you had it right. Corby Jones stayed in. But you could tell he was a shell of his. Yes. Katzenmoyer destroyed him, and then Ohio State just dominated the game from that play on.
Yeah.
They just absolutely dominated. But that's a really good one. All right, Isaiah, let's kick it back to you, my friend.
The next one that comes to mind for me is the Marcus Hall, the Double Bird.
Oh.
I love the Double Bird. That was one of my most favorite OSU moments, is just him giving 2 birds to all the Michigan fans. Really, wraps up the aggression between Ohio State and Michigan and how the players feel about it. I love that photograph. Nothing makes me happier than seeing my players be as angry at Michigan fans as I am. And that day he was.
I like that.
And rightfully so. I mean, they were like, remember that that's what started it. Dontre Wilson caught a punt, and the entire Michigan team was
That's right.
And then he was fighting every single one of them.
And Dontre Wilson is a true freshman out there trying to fight the entire, and then Marcus Hall got involved and he got kicked out, and then he gave the double barrel. Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Moving right along.
Okay, so this is my 4th one, and I want to go with a different era because I've got the Katzenmoyer picture against Missouri. I've got Curtis Samuel against Michigan, which was 2016 on my list. Gosh, you've got a few other ones like the Zach Boren against Devin Gardner, where he's just standing over him, flexing in 2012.
I love that one.
And that one's on a bunch of dumpsters, right? That's such a great, iconic photo.
Nice job by Boren Brothers to use that.
So good.
Yes,
but I'm going to go back to 1967, and it's Woody in the snow versus Michigan State. He's got the short sleeves, he's got the tie, and you see huge snowflakes coming down, and he's just out there ready to coach the game. And that just brings back so many memories because my grandpa was all in on Woody Hayes and named his dog Woody. And so he would tell me all these Woody Hayes stories and all that stuff. So that's got to be a photo that's going up on wall number 4 in the basement.
All right. So I've picked Eddie against Notre Dame in 95 when he looks like he's running away from the entire Notre Dame defense. I got Curtis Samuel, the walk-off, the only walk-off touchdown in the history of the Ohio State-Michigan game in 2016. I've got Holy Buckeye. And then my 4th and final one will be Zach Boren over Devin Gardner in 2012. Yep. Isaiah?
For me, it's Zeke it's Curtis Samuel, it's Marcus Hall, and then it's funny because the chat just mentioned this one, and because as I was going through photos, I was like, there's got to be a great picture of the Scoop and Sawyer.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, where he like goes in the end zone and kind of like...
Yeah, and he's got JTT behind him and Cody Simon.
He
And
blows a kiss to the Ohio State fans.
Beautiful.
He almost died before that. Poor guy had about the 15-yard line. He had no gas left, but he made it, and then he did this.
If he did the arms out.
Arms out, and then he blew a kiss to Ohio State.
And that's gonna be, and I know it's still so fresh, but I know 10 to 15 years from now, for me, that's going to be one of my favorite plays ever.
Oh, that's a good one. And shout out to our friend Chimdi Checkwas Burner on our YouTube chat for mentioning that.
That's a great one.
Our chat is on fire. I love these guys.
Obviously, same playoff run, same championship run, but the catch by Jeremiah Smith, too. There's a great still picture of the Ohio State bench, and the ball wasn't even caught by Jeremiah at this point, but they are already celebrating, knowing that that ball is going to be caught, and that's going to seal Ohio State winning the national championship. That's a great photo, too. Another one that I had circled, too, is Clarett diving into the end zone against Miami, and I believe this was... this must have been the first overtime, but he is diving in, and that's one of those cool photos too. And you could see Krenzel with his. It may have been overtime number 2.
I think that ended up being the winning touchdown. You know, speaking of which, how about C. Grant like spiraling Ken Dorsey down for the game-winning play?
Right
on
in
fourth
Tempe.
down. Heck yeah! Oh man. So many good ones.
There really are.
By the way, the Jeremiah Smith play that you mentioned. So I'm there for the I'm covering the national championship game. And typically with 5 minutes left, you can go down from the press box and they'll let you on the field. Every game I've ever covered, they decided at the last minute to change that. We were all getting down there ready to go on the field to watch the last 5 minutes. We're like, no media on the field till, and they didn't say right after the game. It's like till 2 minutes after the game. And I had already come down from the press box. I'm like, I need to watch the game. So I go into this it was like where the photographers work. It was almost like and Mercedes-Benz Stadium is awesome in Atlanta. This room was almost like a big closet is how I would explain it. But there were a few TVs. So I actually watched that Jeremiah Smith play on a TV down in the bowels of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Yeah. And I was not happy about them not letting us on the field at all.
Yeah.
I was really ticked off. I was like, how about get over it? Ohio State just won the national championship. And I went out and got confetti for my friends.
Yes.
Including yourself. But yeah, that was the one time I've been to a game where we go down there ready to get on the field. They're like, no media on the field. It's like, okay.
One more. I just came across this one, just kind of a quick search. And Krenzel, after OSU beat Michigan in 2002, and everybody had flooded the field, right? Every Buckeye fan is on the field at the shoe, and he's being held up. And you just see thousands of Buckeye fans, and then you can make out the number 16 and Krenzel celebrating as
Sports
they're carrying him around.
Yes, that's right.
That's
Sports
another iconic one.
Had a really good one. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Scotty has a bet on the Bengals preseason game tonight, and he's going to get mad at me if it doesn't cash. I don't even know what this bet is. It sounds crazy to me. We're going to talk about it next. This is Rothman and Ice.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, Central Ohio, Andrew from Home Team Solutions, and we buy houses for cash. If you've got a house you need to sell, this is your season. Inherited, behind on payments, just over it? Whatever brought you here, we can help. We buy as is, we cover all closing costs, and there are 0 commissions, period. Just a fair cash offer, and you choose your closing date. People are making moves right now, and we make it simple to be one of them. One call is all it takes. We'll get you a fair cash offer, fast, no pressure, no obligation. Hundreds of your neighbors have already sold the easy way, and we've got 5-star reviews and BBB A+ rating to back it up. Leave the stress and mess to us. We're based right here in Columbus, and we're ready when you are. Call us at 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355, or visit selltohometeam.com. Home Team Solutions, local, trusted, family owned. Call 614-962-SELL. That's 614-962-7355.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Everything you need to know about the Buckeyes is on, wait for it, The Buckeye Show, led by the Beamer.
I'm not going to lie to you. Getting ready now for Jeremiah Smith, you're already too late.
And featuring Austin Ward.
The reason that the weather was perfect for Texas at Ohio State is because it was played in the San Diego of the Midwest.
It's The Buckeye Show, weeknights at 6. And tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 The Fan, your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
At 614's 2026 Columbus Awards, High Bank took home honors for best cocktails, gastropub, happy hour, and overall bar and more. Whether it's date night, brunch, happy hour, dinner with the family, High Bank has something for everyone. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
This year, I'm going back to school at My Computer Career. They helped me get financial aid, and I chose between online or on-campus classes to fit my needs. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take their free career evaluation. It's never too late to go back to school.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. Fall is around the corner, so if replacing your windows has been sitting on your to-do list, now's the time to get it done, cross it off for good. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. Buy 4 windows, you get 4 free, plus 48 months of 0% interest financing, same as cash. And, of course, they back everything up with their lifetime warranty. Call now for a free home estimate, 614-502-5220, universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Great Lakes Hyundai. The savings are so good.
It's time for the summer sunset sale at Great Lakes Hyundai. Right now, lease a new 26 Tucson SE for $149 per month for 36 months. $149 a month. Plus, every new Hyundai comes with owner assurance and America's best warranty. A 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain coverage. Dublin or Columbus or glakeshyundai.com. With approved credit, $49.95 down plus tax title first month's payment. 7,500 miles per year, ends 8/31.
Morning Juice is now live on YouTube. Join Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Thidoff weekday mornings from 6 to 8.
Just search 971 The Fan to catch the live experience or watch on demand.
The Fan.
The Fan Poll is sponsored by JT's Pizza and Pub, home of award-winning pizza and $2 tall boys. All day, every day.
Maddie ranked the most dynamic duo of all time, Caesar Salad and Moscow Mule. This is Rothman and Ice.
I'll tell you what, if Anthony and Maddie were here, they would not have missed this. But last segment, we were talking about different iconic Ohio State photos. We said if we were in a basement and we were putting together a man cave, 4 different photos that you could put up, and we ranked them, and we had a good time with it. One of those that we forgot to mention that I know Anthony and Maddie would have mentioned was Brutus doing Script Ohio in the snow last year. That is a great one that was sent in on the YouTube chat by, who was it sent by?
Chris Gamble's brother named A. Gamble.
There we go.
I don't know if it's actually Chris Gamble's brother, but if he is, more power to him.
But good call.
Speaking of some of the most underrated players in Ohio State history, Chris Gamble should be on that list.
No doubt. Okay, so tonight we got Bengals preseason football. And normally, I got to be honest with you, Dave, I'm not all that interested in watching a lot of preseason football, although tonight I decided to put together a little parlay over the weekend. And last weekend, all my golfers hit, and I was like, well, I need to add a little bit more value to this parlay. And so I finished it out with putting the Bengals on the money line for tonight. And it's a big one. All right, this one is pays off 4 figures, so it's a good size bet, and it's on a stupid.
He's buying dinner regardless.
Preseason football game. And at the time that I took it, the Bengals were a 4.5-point favorite. I just took them on the money line. Now that line has moved up to 7. And the reason is the Bengals look like they're going to be playing a lot of their starters. So Joe Burrow is going to be out there. Chase is going to be out there.
For like one series,
One series, but I'm hoping that's a big series and that gets it done for me. But you, of course, are a big Bengals fan. So if they lose tonight, I will be texting you, very angry at you if they ruin this nice parlay for me. But it gives us a chance to talk about the Bengals. And Dave, your expectations for this team, I want to get to in just a minute. However, one of the things that was kind of the off-season topic was right around draft time when Dexter Lawrence was traded to the Bengals, and the Bengals gave up that draft pick for him. And you and I were doing some shows right around draft time and talking about, well, gosh, Caleb Downs could fall to the Bengals. Because was it pick 11, pick 10, somewhere in that area for the Bengals?
Bengals had the 10th pick. He ended up going 11th with the Cowboys trading up. Yep.
Right, so he would have been available for the Bengals to get. Now, obviously, it's hindsight, and before the draft, you don't know whether Caleb Downs is even going to be available at 10. But as a Bengals fan, you were absolutely thrilled with the trade, and I want to, now that we've seen Caleb Downs and all the highlights of him and how he's off to an incredible start with the Cowboys, is there any remorse that you have, any regret that the Bengals didn't keep that pick and get Caleb Downs?
No, and it's crazy because before the draft, I was thinking when they were going to pick 10th, I didn't think there was any chance they were going to trade the pick. I really wanted Caleb Downs, and I didn't think he was going to be available. Turns out he was even available at 11. But no, I would not. I mean, Dexter Lawrence, man, if you get, and he's listed at 6'5", 350. If he's 350, then I'm like 130. Like my man's pushing for, but he moves well. I love it. I love it. He's probably like 380. Like,
and you're
I love
140.
It. I love it. Exactly. And word out of camp is he's just having a tremendous camp. He's just dominating, and that just frees up everything else. I mean, the Bengals really struggled on defense last year. They beefed up their defensive line, not just Dexter Lawrence, but getting Jonathan Allen, getting Boye Mafe from the Seahawks in free agency, getting Cassius Howell, which was their top draft pick, early second-round pick. It's crazy because I wanted Caleb Downs, but no, I don't have any remorse. I would do it all over again. And the Bengals did a good job by getting the top free agent safety on the market in Brian Cook, who played at UC. He was a second-round pick of the Chiefs. Very good safety for the Chiefs for his first 4 years. Now, still in his prime, just 26 years old. And I don't think, knowing the Bengals, after they gave that much money, because it was a 3-year, $40 million contract for Brian Cook, I bet you, even I would have disagreed with this, if they would have kept the pick, I bet you they would not have taken Caleb Downs. I think they would have probably taken Ruben Bain, which I think he's going to have a really good career. But I bet you they would not have taken Caleb Downs after spending $40 million on Brian Cook. So, no, I have no regrets at all.
Can't wait to see the Caleb Downs career, and this will be interesting to track over the next few years. And I'm with you. I'm still with you on, I think that was the correct move for the Bengals to make. Now let's talk about them specifically for this upcoming season and the expectations, because I think the expectations are going to be relatively high because I think they had a really, really good offseason. For me, when we were back in April looking at odds to win the Super Bowl, the Bengals were sitting there at 35-1, and it kept jumping out. Gosh, this is a team with so much talent if they stay healthy, and if their defense could go from being horrendous to being average, they could be a great football team. So I want to get your expectations as a Bengals fan coming into the year, because to me, on the outside, I like this team a lot. I took them at 35-1. So your thoughts on the Bengals and their first preseason game tonight?
I have very high expectations for them for the season. I don't know what's going to happen in the preseason game tonight because, even though they're saying they're going to play some starters, probably all of one series, but I really like this team. The offense is on point. I like the fact even they got Joe Flacco back just in case something happens with Joe Burrow, which I know obviously he's been injury prone. I think this offensive line is actually decent, which is the first time you can really say that during the Joe Burrow era. And like you said, Scotty, you nailed it. Like, I think the defense is at least going to be league average this year. At one point last year, they were like historically bad. Not just bad, like they were going through, like, halfway through the season, they were like, there was a chance they were going to be like the worst defense in NFL history. They ended up playing like a little bit better down the stretch, but very low bar. But I think they did a really good job. And I think Al Golden now entering his second year as defensive coordinator, I think that'll help. They did a really good job, I thought, in free agency and the one trade with Dexter Lawrence. And I think Cassius Howell was a good pick in the second round. Their third-round pick, Takario Davis, a corner, is getting a lot of love as well. So I think they did a good job in the draft despite not having a first-round pick. I'm pretty bullish, man. I'll be, I think they're going to win the AFC North. And I know the Ravens are the favorite, and I understand that. But I'll be disappointed if the Bengals don't win the AFC North. I think that they can make a nice run this year. Now, as a Bengal fan, I'm always going to have trepidation just because it's the Bengals. But I really like this roster, Scotty.
Yeah, and I will tell you, I don't generally endorse betting preseason football. I really don't. And this will be the only time that I do it. It was just part of a big parlay that was put together. But I like them tonight. And again, you mentioned that they are going to be playing a lot of their starters, and it'll probably be one or two drives. The Lions are not planning on playing a lot of starters. So for me, I feel like the Bengals at home, they want to get off to a good start. The 7, I wouldn't touch the 7. I still like the Bengals tonight on the money line.
Did the Teddy Bridgewater situation factor into your bet?
Yes. Not really.
Because now, I mean, they're not playing golf.
Stupidity.
So typically they would
factored into my bet.
Play their second-string quarterback. Now they're down to their third-string quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't play into your bet
at all? It did not. No, I was putting together this parlay on Saturday with like 8 golfers and wanted a little bit more value. So I threw in the Bengals preseason, which was stupid. But, hey, it's still alive, and here we go.
We'll see if it's stupid.
Yeah.
Maybe it won't be.
Maybe it's genius.
Could be your best leg. Right. It's got to be close to pretty even odds.
Yeah. Actually, at the time, again, the Bengals were a 4-point favorite, and now they're 7. So at least the odds moved in the right direction.
That's right. I feel good for you here. And you got like 4 digits on the line here.
And again, if it doesn't come through, my text will be directed your way.
My way.
Yeah.
Okay. I would just say just don't bet on preseason football. But, hey, you got to do what you got to do. You like betting on sports. That's why you're pretty good on the money on Sundays, 9 to 11. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I look at this roster for the Bengals, and I am very, very excited about it. But it's just like, the years of being a Bengals fan, you're like, oh, they're going to figure out a way to screw this up.
Well, I mean, you can't be a Bengals fan and not still worry about potential injury. Like, it just, like, you've seen it multiple times now, and it completely derails the entire season. So it's going to constantly be going through your mind, which honestly makes sense, is that you keep thinking about it. But on paper, going into this year, it feels like they are set for a big run.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at the AFC, I mean, obviously the Chiefs, I know they were 6-11 last year. They're going to bounce back.
No doubt.
The Bills are good, really good.
I love the over on the Chiefs.
What's the over-under?
It's 9.5.
I like that, too. I think the Bengals is 9.5, too.
Tough division.
And I like that very much.
I like the Chiefs over.
All right, first hour of the show is in the book. Stick around for the second hour and more. We're going to have a Scotty Doesn't Know segment in the second hour and much more. This is Rothman and Ice on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. I just freaked the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Tired of snoring? Sleep Better Columbus can help with a custom mouthpiece that opens your airway and stops the snoring. No mask, no noise. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit sleepbettercolumbus.com today. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Everybody thinks they're a great driver. Outlaw Motor Speedway gives you the chance to prove it. Experience professional racing simulators, full motion rigs, and some of the world's iconic tracks right here in Grandview. Race your friends, join a league, or bring the office out for an unforgettable corporate event. And when the checkered flag drops, keep the night going with great food and drinks here or next door at Agave and Rye. Then climb back in the driver's seat and see who's got what it takes. Book your race today at outlawsimracing.com.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My sinks gurgled, they barely drained, the toilet overflowed. I plunge all day with no luck. What's wrong with this commode?
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call all the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer and Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer and Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer and Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros. No subcontractors at Comer and Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer and Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, COMER cross.com.
Veterans and active duty service members, when your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
Yes, the 4th of July fireworks may be over, but the festivities for America's 250th birthday are still in full swing. Because at America 250 Ohio, we're honoring both America and our state with hundreds of events in all 88 Ohio counties. From historic talks to Ohio-related films to driving trails of discovery. So go to America250Ohio.org to find an event near you, because there's never been a better time to honor this amazing place we all call home. Sponsored by the Ohio History Connection, aired by the OAB and this station.
Sometimes a girl in my class doesn't bring anything to eat for lunch.
The truth is, in America, 1 in 5 kids worry about their next meal.
I want everybody to have yummy food.
So do we. That's why Kroger donates surplus fresh food from our shelves to your local food bank. We've provided over 3.5 billion meals through our Zero Hunger, Zero Waste plan. Visit Kroger.com to see how you can help fight hunger and waste in our community.
Because nobody should have an empty tummy.
Hey, it's T-Bone again. Sleep apnea doesn't have to rule your nights. Sleep Better Columbus has been treating snoring and sleep apnea for over 15 years with proven results and now has an office open in Marysville. Call 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or go to sleepbettercolumbus.com. Stop snoring, sleep better, live better.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Tyler Danberg. After mulling his future this summer, Norris winner Zach Werenski is back with the Blue Jackets and glad to be back in Columbus.
I know, luckily, how good this city is when the team's in the playoffs. And outside of that, it's been too long since we've been there. And I want to be a reason that we're back in it. And I want to see nationwide like that again.
Werenski reinforced that Columbus is where he wants to be. NFL Bengals host the Lions in their preseason opener tonight at 7, while the Browns visit the Bears at 1 on Saturday. Baseball Guardians visit the Tigers at 1:10. Cater Montero and Parker Messick, the pitching matchup, while the Reds visit the White Sox at 2:10. Andrew Abbott and Davis Martin, the pitching probables. This update sponsored by the Waterworks and Header Plumbing, Drain, Heating, and Cooling, together to serve you better. Schedule yours today at thewaterworks.com. Breaking sports news when it happens right here on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Maddie's favorite show is Big Brother. Don't read into it. He's only watching strangers through hidden cameras. You're listening to Rothman and Creepy Stalker Guy.
Welcome back to Rothman and Ice on the Fan. I am Dave Biddle. He is Scotty Vegas. He is Isaiah Jacob. We are filling in for the A-team today. Anthony, Maddie, and Cole getting a much-deserved day off. Scotty Vegas, the second hour. How do you want to kick this off, my friend? I know you have that smile on your face. I just know what's coming.
I know. I love it. You got an invitation through the chat to watch the Bengals game with one of our listeners in their living room, and I love it, and I think that should happen. It kind of reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where George is at the video store, right? And he wants to rent Breakfast with Tiffany's, and of course it's out, but he needs to watch this movie, and so he
has to do like a book report.
He has to do a book report, and so he has to track down who has this video, and he goes and he watches it in their living room. I kind of feel like this could be you tonight with the Bengals game, just a random fan.
Typically,
no?
I would love to do that, but I happen to be busy tonight, so I won't be able to join our new friend in his living room to watch this Bengals preseason game.
I think that'd be awesome. I would love to see that.
You're going to get a lot of Sean Clifford tonight. You're not going to like that when you see Sean Clifford in there for the entire second half.
And I will say this. If you do watch a Bengals game with Dave Biddle, which you'll get an opportunity to do so this fall because we're going to be doing a lot of watch parties at the casino. But if you get the opportunity to watch a game and you want to see somebody with, it looks like their head is going to explode during a game, I will never forget. You and I were on air during the Bengals Patriots Week 1 game. I think it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
So this was like Drake May's rookie debut,
game.
And they had Jared Mayo was their head coach.
Oh my gosh!
And they ended up they were terrible that year.
Horrendous.
The Bengals are at home in the season opener. The Bengals are favored by like 14.5.
Yep, and we're watching this game on air.
We weren't just at the casino, Isaiah. We were at the casino, doing a show live on the air, and I was like, we like those old-fashioned, the smoked old-fashioned. I was like a giant smoked old-fashioned with smoke just coming out of my ears. I was so mad.
His face got so red. I remember watching this thing, and the Bengals are struggling, and they're struggling. And then there was one time where we took a break, and we have headsets out there, right? Some nice, expensive headsets. And what does he do? He does like Urban Meyer, just takes the headset off and spikes the headset.
Now he's lying. That didn't actually happen.
I'm like, how are we going to continue to do the show if you're going to break the equipment while watching this game? So, but that was a lot of fun. That was you. And look, I criticize.
Was it Brissett?
I talk about you.
It wasn't even Drake May yet. I think Spieth is right on our chat. I think they didn't start Drake May right away. I think that makes it even worse. Yeah, I think Spieth is right. It was Jacoby Brissett. Either way, rookie head coach who ended up getting fired after 1 year. I think the Patriots were like 3-14 that year or something like that. Maybe 4-13 at the best. And if the Bengals win that game, they make the playoffs.
Oh my gosh! So it was very important.
Yeah,
so that's why you were going so crazy.
I looked like a giant old fashioned.
And you know what? We've had some other instances, where we're doing watch parties where we kind of lose our minds a little bit. I remember we were watching an Ohio State basketball game. They were playing Oregon, and they were playing your nephew on Oregon, Nate Biddle.
He was not my nephew because he doesn't even spell Biddle correctly. He goes 2 T's.
Yes,
you got to go 2 D's.
Nate Biddle went off that night, and it was he had no hair. He was a very ugly looking man. Let's be honest with you.
Shooting a lot of threes. Yeah, that was bad.
And he looked like he was 35 years old playing college basketball, and he went crazy and he beat Ohio State, and that was a big game for Ohio State, and we're watching it, and Ryan Baker's with us. I remember I took my shoes off. I was so angry, throwing the shoes around.
You didn't take your shoes off because you were angry. You took your shoes off because you were lounging.
Out of comfort.
You got mad. You were like me watching a Bengals game.
Correct.
Yes.
One thing that does make me mad too, guys, is how golf does their postseason. Believe it or not, the golf postseason starts today. It's already going on. And no, Fish, I promise you, we're not spending an entire segment on the golf postseason here. But it got us thinking, because the golf postseason is so ridiculous. I don't think even most golf fans know that the postseason is starting today. But it got us thinking, who does postseasons right and who does it wrong? What like college basketball, college football, pro sports, who does it right, who does it wrong? And so what we'll go through is we'll go through and say, okay, great postseason, or this should change about the postseason. First off, March Madness. Now, to me, it was absolute perfection. It's been adjusted a little bit by adding more teams, but I don't care. March Madness is still the perfect postseason. Agree or disagree?
I agree. And I know it went from 64 to 68 and now 72. But there's also been an addition of Division I basketball teams in that. So it's still a pretty low percentage. You have 350 D1 basketball teams? 350? 72 make it? Yeah, I'm good with that.
I have no problem with March Madness. Isaiah?
It's perfect. And even though there's the additions, I'm not tuning in until Thursday anyway. They can play all the games before that. It doesn't matter. I'll start in the 64 on Thursday.
See, the other thing I do like is that Dayton has the play-in game, so that kind of adds a little excitement.
And they're adding the new play-in games are going to be. God, I know I saw this, but I can't remember. Something like it's not Omaha because that's where the college.
I want to say Salt Lake.
Something like that. I think that sounds right. Yeah. So the Dayton's nothing going to change with Dayton. They're still going to have their playing games, but the extra playing games are going to be at a different site. I think you're right. I think it is Salt Lake.
And I don't get the people that are whining about more playing games. Like, you don't have to watch them, number one, and number two, it's just more games for us to enjoy.
And bet on.
Yeah, exactly, and bet on.
It's Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, Wichita. Just like Salt Lake.
Yeah, I was close with Omaha.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
They rhyme.
I don't know. Omaha, Wichita.
Next postseason, college football playoffs. And here's what I wrote. I love the 12 team, but I hate all the changes that we constantly get. That's the problem with this postseason is it feels like the rules change almost yearly. And are we even going to be at 12 for very long? Probably not.
I would bet. I mean, you guys know I don't like the prediction markets, right? Kalshi and Poly. They're not one of our sponsors. Are they? Good. Because I'm going to trash them right now with all the insider trading. But if I was into Poly Market or Kalshi, I would bet your car. Your brand new awesome car.
Don't bet my Bronco.
I might even bet your really nice house that has a putting green and everything. I would bet anything. We're going to have a 2014 playoff. It's inevitable, and I would bet it's going to happen next year. This is going to be the last year of the 12-team playoff. I would bet the house on that.
Yeah, but I think the big problem is the constant change. It's like you had the 12 team, and then you changed the parameters of who got buys and stuff like that, and then you had one more year, and then we're going to change. So it's just constant change, which is ridiculous.
But we like that as Ohio State fans because when they change it, first year of the 14 playoff, Buckeyes win the national championship. First year of the 12-team playoff, Buckeyes win the national championship.
That I like.
We're good.
Let's go. First year of 24, Buckeyes win the national championship.
Back to back.
All right, NFL postseason. I don't have a lot of complaints about this one. To me, this one is near perfection. The one thing that I will say is that week in between the conference championship games and the Super Bowl, I could maybe do without. I would just say, hey, let's just have the Super Bowl the very next week after the conference championships. That'd be my only change.
Yeah, and they used to do that. It seemed like it bounced back and forth, but for a long time now, we've had 2 weeks between. But for a while, I mean, there were years where there was just a week off, and even when they were bouncing back and forth. But you're right, I think maybe for the last 20 years now, it's always been 2 weeks. I'm okay with it. It just kind of I don't know, it extends football season, I guess. But yeah, I mean, all right, Major League Baseball. You know, one thing I like about Major League, even though that they've increased it and they got some flack from some of the diehard fans, still. Relatively speaking, a lower percentage of teams make the playoffs in Major League Baseball, which I like.
12, right?
12 out of 30, right? So, I like that. And I think the NFL does a good job, too. I'm curious to get your guys' take on this. Now, if it means the Blue Jackets get in, I'm okay with it. I think the NHL and the NBA let too many teams in.
Too inclusive.
Yeah,
yep.
You have to, you let half the teams in, to me, that's too many.
I agree. I think it's too much. Way too inclusive.
Unless the Blue Jackets are the 8th team, then I'm okay with it.
Now, the actual postseason itself, I love watching it, right? So that's great. That part of it is great. I just would kind of shorten it a little bit. It feels like it lasts 3 months.
Do you think that the NBA, it does feel like it lasts 3 months. Do you think the NBA, I agree with the play-in tournament's too much. They let 10 teams in each side. That's way too much. Do you think the 7-game series every time. Is that good, or should they go more to the baseball model, where in baseball the wild card round is what?
3.
It's 3 games.
Yeah.
And then it's extended after that.
I don't like that in baseball, and I wouldn't like it in the NBA because like it just like. Especially in baseball, man, you're playing 162 games. A team earns like the number 1 seed. And anything can happen in baseball in a 5-game series. You get a couple hot pitchers, and you're playing 162 games, and then you're going to make it a 3-game series. I like that the NBA went, because they used to do just the 5-game series in the first round. I like that they do 7 games because, like, if you're the higher seed, you've deserved that. And it takes away, not completely, but it takes away the luck effect. It's a lot harder to win a 7-game series than a 5-game series. So I'm okay with that. But yeah, NHL, man, and NBA, I would let less teams in. I don't like the play-in games in the NBA. I think that was unnecessary. My Bulls were a constant contributor of this is the first year they weren't a play-in team. Yeah, I think certainly let too many teams in.
Yeah, and we bring it up because, again, the golf postseason, the PGA Tour has their postseason. It starts today, and I think you have to be a real hardcore golf fan to even know that it's even starting today.
So one of the things we've done on the Money and the Call-In Show on Sundays the last few weeks, we've done the all Urban Meyer team at Ohio State, the all Ryan Day team at Ohio State, the all Jim Tressel team at Ohio State, the all John Cooper team at Ohio State. We're going to compare and contrast those teams next, right here, Rothman and Ice.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. T-Bone and Tybus wake you up every weekday morning from 6 to 9. And I think I can sum up the show in 3 words. Football, food, and fun. Ain't that right, T-Bone?
And I get more volume per suck.
And there's only one thing that makes Tybus happier than a free hair transplant.
All it took was legalizing the money you had to give to the players, and we are watching the demise of the SEC.
T-Bone and Tybus, weekday morning starting at 6. And tell your smart speaker to play 97.1 The Fan.
Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorrento. Pay 0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia.
Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 8/31/26.
At CEC Turf and Tractor, family means everything. That's why we're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations to the CEC family. We're honored to carry on the relationships Green & Sons has built in these communities for generations while expanding our ability to serve you with more parts, more inventory, and faster response times. As one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers, CEC Turf and Tractor is growing without losing sight of what matters most: hardworking people, trusted relationships, and hometown service. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today for all your Kubota needs.
Yo, I'm your old basketball. Haven't seen you out on the courts in a while. Why not pass me over to Goodwill? Donating me helps Goodwill's mission to provide career training and support services right here in the community. And that's a slam dunk. Donate today. Hey, I got next.
To find your nearest Goodwill locations and to learn more about our mission, please visit goodwill.org. Goodwill, where your things start new lives.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I lost count of how many foster homes I lived in. 20, maybe more. Each time, a new family, a new room, but never a space that felt like mine.
There are more than 100,000 children in foster care waiting to be adopted. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption is working to help find them a permanent home.
Now I have my own room and decorated it myself. And just like my family, it's mine to keep.
If you have room in your home or your heart, See how you can help at davethomasfoundation.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, commercial properties. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app, free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
Have you ever met a man who wins money betting on tennis? Enter Scotty Vegas. Join Scotty and Dave Biddle for On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Sunday mornings at 9 on The Fan. Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see a partly cloudy sky for the rest of the day. Watching for a chance of showers and a few thunderstorms to arrive toward the evening hours out of the west. Otherwise, it'll be a humid afternoon with highs in the mid-80s. Chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms overnight. Could be a localized downpour with lows around 70. For the day tomorrow, chance of showers and storms mainly in the morning. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy and 82. For The Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
We're your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now you can watch Rothman and Ice.
Go to YouTube and search 97.1 The Fan.
Rothman is wearing the pancake makeup, so you might as well watch. Back to Rothman and Ice.
So over the last month, we have been going through and getting listeners' opinions on who belongs on the all-Ryan Day Ohio State team, who belongs on the all-Tressel team, who belongs on the John Cooper and the Urban Meyer. And so we went position by position and took one quarterback, one running back, two wide receivers, and really dove into who represents that era of Ohio State football. And so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to compare the different eras. So we're going to look at the Ryan Day, Tressel, John Cooper, and Urban Meyer, all teams, and kind of go position by position and determine who has won the most position groups. So let's start out with the quarterbacks. So for the Ryan Day era, we ended up choosing Justin Fields to represent the Ryan Day era. For Jim Tressel, it was Troy Smith. For John Cooper, we went with Joe Germain, and with Urban Meyer, which there was a lot of discussion on who the Urban Meyer quarterback would be, but we ended up going with Braxton Miller representing the Urban era. So now, comparing those four, Dave, Fields, Troy Smith, Joe Germain, Braxton Miller, I think it's a relatively easy choice. I think we're going with Jim Tressel and Troy Smith.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, imagine Troy Smith. I mean, he was fantastic, obviously, winning the Heisman that year, and I thought he was good the previous year as well. But, like, imagine Troy Smith in this modern-day, like, Ryan Day offense, you know? I mean, and he was tough as nails. I know he wasn't a running quarterback, but if you need him to run, he could. In fact, his breakout game was his third-year sophomore year in 2004 against Michigan. He had over 200 passing yards and over 100 rushing yards in that game, and Ohio State was a underdog in the horseshoe against Michigan. They won that game 37-21, if memory recalls. Yeah, Troy Smith's my quarterback.
Now, I think it's fair to debate some of our choices here, and running back is another one. For the Ryan Day era, we had J.K. Dobbins representing the Ryan Day era. For Jim Tressel, we had Beanie Wells.
Could go Claret.
Absolutely.
We went Beantown.
Yep,
our guy.
Could go Claret for sure. But I think what came down to was one season versus a career. And so we went Beanie over Claret. For John Cooper, it's Eddie George. And for Urban Meyer, it's obviously Zeke. So I think the debate is Zeke or Eddie George. And again, the tiebreaker has to be who won the Heisman Trophy in my mind. So I'm giving it to Eddie George.
The tiebreaker should be, well, they gave the Heisman Trophy out before Zeke set the world on fire, and Zeke won the national championship. Eddie did not. Zeke beat Michigan. Eddie did not that year.
Ooh.
Zeke is my choice.
Oh, all right. Well, then we've got to go to great producer Zeke, Isaiah, to break the tie.
I mean, this you can go either way here, but I agree with Dave. I think if they choose the Heisman after the season actually ends, which is actually the national championship game, then Zeke wins the Heisman that year because he had the best 2-game stretch any Buckeye running back has ever had.
And really 3 games if you can include the Wisconsin game, too. He just set the world on fire, those 3 postseason games. Yeah.
All right, this shocks me a little bit, but because it's 2-1 here, and look,
it shouldn't, though. I mean, Eddie was a first-round pick, but Zeke was like the number 4 overall pick. Eddie wasn't even the first running back off the board. We don't need to mention who was. He probably should owe Ohio State defensive coordinator some money. Okay, we'll mention who it was. Tim Biakabatuka was drafted before Eddie George. Even Ricky Dudley was off the board, Ohio State tight end, before Eddie George. Anyway.
Okay, so 2-1. And again, listeners, we love for you to chime in the YouTube chat. They're telling me we're going with Zeke over Eddie George. So I've got to put it in on the list here. So point for Urban Meyer and Zeke. All right, next is the wide receivers. So here's what we came down to. And again, we're going position group by position group. And it's the Ryan Day wide receivers would be Jeremiah Smith and Marvin Harrison Jr. The Tressel ones that we went with were Santonio Holmes and Ted Ginn Jr. The John Cooper were Joey Galloway and Terry Glenn. And then the Urban Meyer were Michael Thomas, and we went with Devin Smith. Now, I got to say, I feel like, and I know that those John Cooper receivers, Galloway and Glenn, are amazing. They're all amazing, but I would go Ryan Day with Jeremiah Smith and Marvin Harrison Jr. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, and by the way, I mean, I'm not going to take Santonio or Ted Ginn off the board, but like, I think Michael Jenkins is right there.
Yep.
I think Michael Jenkins is right there for the Tressel team, but we didn't have him in there. Yeah, I agree with you.
Okay. So now we've got 1 point Day, 1 point Tressel, 1 point Urban Meyer. Let's go to tight end. This one's going to be hard to pick. Cade Stover, Ben Hartsock, Ricky Dudley, or Jeff Hireman?
I mean, it's got to be Ricky Dudley. He was
because
like
he was a top 10 pick.
Yeah, and I don't think what they did in the NFL should like matter, but like if you're a top 10 pick, and all these guys were drafted, I think Hartsock was either a 2nd round or a 3rd round pick by the Colts. I think 3rd round. Hireman was a 3rd round pick, and Cade Stover, he was a 3rd round pick as well. So all these guys, but I think we got to give it to Ricky. Do you agree?
I'm okay with giving it to Ricky Dudley.
And if we have a pickup basketball game with our football team,
then we're in good shape. Then we're in really good shape. Okay, let's go offensive line all together here. Let's not divide it up by tackles, guards, and center.
Okay.
So the Ryan Day, all offensive line, we have Paris Johnson Jr., we've got Donovan Jackson, Carson Hinsman, Josh Myers, and Thayer Munford. That's the all-day team. The Tressel is Alex Boone with Charles Bentley, Nick Mangold, Jimmy Cordell, and Shane Olivier. Solid. John Cooper. Now, this one I've got circled already because Orlando Pace is the tackle.
Yes.
You've got Charles Bentley in there. Now, Bentley was both Tressel and Cooper, so we got them both. Then you got Juan Porter. Corey Stringer,
He's
also in there.
Yep.
And Rob Murphy. The Urban Meyer one we've got as Corey Lindsley, Pat Elflein, Billy Price, Jack Mewhort, and Taylor Decker. I think we got to give it to Cooper by having Corey Stringer and Orlando Pace. Any disagreements there?
No, those definitely are the 2 best. And then I would go, would we take Taylor Decker or Paris Johnson Jr.? Or even, I know Billy Price won the Remington Award. I know he flamed out in the NFL, but he was still a 1st-round pick. Pat Elflein as well. I mean, I would go, okay, we have Orlando and we have Corey Stringer for sure.
Yep.
If we had to pick,
tackle's definitely Cooper.
But I know we're going like, other than position, if we had to pick either Taylor Decker or Paris Johnson, where are we going?
Oh, gosh. I'd probably go Taylor Decker, but man, is that close.
Yeah, that is close.
And part of that is thinking NFL a little bit too.
Well, both of them were early.
I know.
Relative. I mean, Paris was taken ahead of, Taylor, obviously not in the same draft. Taylor helped him win a national championship. I'd probably give it to Taylor over Paris, but you couldn't go wrong either way there. Center. I love Lil Charles, but I got to give it to Nick Mangold. He should have won the Remington Award. He didn't. Some guy from, I believe, Wisconsin. Maybe it wasn't Wisconsin. Maybe somewhere else. It was like a 6th or 7th round. Minnesota. It was a dude from Minnesota. Ended up winning the Remington Award that year. Mangold was a 1st-round pick by the Jets. Ended up being like a perennial All-Pro. Some dude from Minnesota won the Remington. Was like a 7th-round pick. Didn't even make the team. Man, I'm giving it to Nick Mangold over LaCharles, but you can't go wrong either way there.
I feel dirty leaving LaCharles Bentley off the list. I really do.
If we have a boxing match, he's in there.
Yeah, although I wouldn't want to mess with how of a monster Nick Mangold was as well. So
that's true. And Nick was a good high school wrestler, too.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to divide it up. So we're just going to say offensive line in general, and we're going to give that to Cooper because of the tackle. So you've got Ryan Day with 1, Tressel with 1, Cooper with 2, Urban Meyer with 1. That's the position groups for offense. I think we got to move on to the silver bullets and defense. Let's do that next in 2 minutes right here on Rothman and Ice.
What can ADP do for small business? We help answer the business questions, like how do you track employee time? How do you do payroll taxes? Or what does compliance even mean? So small businesses can focus on bigger questions. Now florists can ask, can we invent another holiday to sell bouquets? Pizza shops can ask, how do we stuff a calzone into a pizza crust? And pool cleaners can ask, what is that thing in the filter? These are the questions you can focus on when ADP takes care of the business of your small business. ADP for small business.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. You know, there's 2 things I love about Window Nation. Number 1, they're going to give you great value. Window Nation windows have a lifetime transferable warranty because they're quality. They're triple checked at the factory. And you're getting a great deal because right now you can get 50% off all window styles from Window Nation. Plus 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 2 years. The other thing I love about Window Nation is they'll get the job done in a day. And Window Nation installers will leave your home cleaner than when they started. Minimal disruption to your life while fixing those problem windows that you've been staring at for years. You don't need to use a chat program to figure out how to get better windows in your house. Just go to windownation.com right now. They're good enough for HGTV's designing spaces, and they're going to be awesome in your home, especially when you get Window Nation windows now for 50% off all window styles, plus 0 down and 0 interest, and no payments until 2028. I'm telling you, Window Nation is the real deal when it comes to replacement windows and doors. Get a free quote at windownation.com today.
Nothing feels better on a hot summer day than coming home to a nice air-conditioned house. If your AC is on the fritz, don't sweat it. Call the pros at the Waterworks Heating and Cooling. We service all makes and models and can provide great savings on a Lennox home comfort system that delivers that perfect feeling. The Waterworks Heating and Cooling Services. Call us at 614-232-2222 and schedule fast service today. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Miss a minute of Rothman and Ice? Check out the podcast.
Type in Rothman and Ice wherever you get your podcasts. Download and subscribe.
Back to Rothman and Ice.
Welcome back to the show. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas filling in for Anthony and Maddie. We have Isaiah Jacob at the controls filling in for Cole. We're going over the all Ryan Day team at Ohio State, the all Urban Meyer team, the all Jim Tressel team, and the all John Cooper team. And I love, Scotty, you printed this out and you have Ryan Day, Urban Meyer, Jim Tressel, and then you listed Jonathan Cooper.
Well, I will say
Jonathan Cooper had a better record against Michigan than John Cooper.
I had a nice promotions assistant, Jake, help me out, and he's the one who put all this together.
Throw him under, why don't you?
That was a mistake.
And he put Jonathan Cooper, just like he put David Biddle in the email the other day as well. So
that wasn't even David.
David.
It was D-A-V-D. And I'm like, you couldn't decide between David or Dave. You went with D-A-V-D?
Yes. David Biddle is what we went with. But okay, so the all Ohio State, again, we took the coaches and the players that represent them in that era. So for quarterback, we ended up going with Troy Smith, and that's, of course, the Jim Tressel era. The Urban Meyer running back, Zeke, we took Zeke over Eddie George, which I disagreed. I put Eddie, but you two said Zeke over Eddie. So that gives Urban Meyer a point for the running backs. Wide receivers, we went Ryan Day's wide receivers with Jeremiah Smith and Marvin Harrison Jr. Tight end, we went Ricky Dudley and Jonathan Cooper's team, John Cooper's team. And then offensive line, the position group, we gave that one to John Cooper as well because of Orlando Pace and Corey Stringer. Right then and there is like, oh, gosh, Orlando Pace might be the best college football player of all time, especially offensive tackle of all time. And so we gave that one to John Cooper. But now it is time to look at the defensive side of the ball. And we got to pick who had the best all defensive line. And this is ridiculously tough as I look at this. So Ryan Day's all defensive line team would be probably Chase Young, Jack Sawyer, Tyreek Smith, and Caden McDonald. Okay, great. Jim Tressel would be Will Smith, Vernon Golston, Quinn Pitcock, and Cam Hayward. John Cooper's would be Mike Vrabel, Dan Big Daddy Wilkinson, number 1 overall pick, Luke Fickell, and Matt Finkus. And then Urban Meyer's would be a couple Bosas, Joey and Nick Bosa, John Simon, and then Jonathan Hankins. How the heck do we pick the best defensive line?
Jeez, this is really tough.
Yeah.
We need to mix and match. No. Who has the best? Man, I tell you what. It's tough to pick against the Urban Meyer team there.
I know. That's where I'm leaning.
Both Bosas, Jonathan Hankins, who's out there helping the team like right now, and he was so good at Ohio State. I still can't believe he was a second-round pick and not a first-round pick. I feel the same way about Caden McDonald. And John Simon, and we're cheating a little bit there. I know Simon played DN, but he also played some 3-tech, and he was definitely strong enough to play D-tackle. And next to Jonathan Hankins, having John Simon in there. Yeah, give me Bosa, Simon, and Hankins.
Okay, I'm with you.
The Urban Meyer team.
Okay. Team Urban Meyer gets another point. That's 2 points for Urban. He ties Tressel with 2. Now let's go to the linebackers. And Chimdy in the chat was right. He said, I can't wait for the linebacker debate. And Ryan Days, as we know, Arvell Reese. And again, we put 3 linebackers when we were doing this exercise. So Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, and Cody Simon were the Ryan Day linebackers we went with. Jim Tressel's pretty solid. A.J. Hawk, Matt Wilhelm, and James Laurinaitis. For John Cooper, we went with Andy Katzenmoyer, Steve Tovar, and Lorenzo Styles. And then Urbans, we had Ryan Shazier, Darren Lee, and Raekwon McMillan. To me, it's between the Day and Tressel. Would you agree?
Yes, I do agree. And, man, this is tough, especially considering the fact that Sonny and Arvell were like top 7 overall picks. Am I crazy to pick the Tressel team here? A.J. Hawk, Matt Wilhelm, and James Laurinaitis.
I know. Yeah.
It's so close, though. I could be talked into either one of those. And I left out Cody Simon on the Day team. You have the 2 top 7 picks, and Cody Simon, 4th-round pick, but like had a tremendous final year at Ohio State as the middle linebacker and helped them win the national championship. I could be talked into either one. I guess I will go with my first instinct, which is the Tressel team.
I agree. And I think when we think of Buckeye legends, and look, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, we know how amazing they are. When we think of legends, I think we think of A.J. Hawk. We think of James Laurinaitis. So I think I'm going to circle the Tressel team, give Tressel. And by the way, that makes it 2 for Urban, 2 for Cooper, 2 for Tressel. And now we go to the defensive backs. So the all Ryan Day defensive backs, cornerbacks, Jeffrey Okudah, we got Denzel Burke, Lathan Ransom, and Caleb Downs as your defensive backs for Ryan Day. Jim Tressel is Malcolm Jenkins, Chris Gamble, Mike Doss, and Dante Whitner.
Ooh.
The John Cooper would be Sean Springs, Antoine Winfield. Wow. Those are monster cornerbacks.
Heck yeah.
Safeties, Damon Moore and Rob Kelly. And then Urban Meyer, we've got Denzel Ward, Marshawn Lattimore, Malik Hooker, and Von Bell.
Jeez.
Oh, boy.
You could make an argument for any of those.
Yeah.
I mean, DB, we call it wide receiver U, DB U, linebacker U, running back U.
Cornerbacks are Cooper.
Starting to be QB U, not quite, but.
With Springs
we might get
and
there.
Winfield, the cornerbacks are definitely Cooper.
Yeah.
But the safeties, I mean, you throw Caleb Downs in there for the Ryan Day team.
Yeah. Denzel Burke hurts the grade a little bit there.
It does.
He's the starting corner. But you have Jeff Okudah, who, and I know he flamed out in the NFL, but we have to remember Jeff Okudah was the number 3 overall pick of the draft. Lions fans are like, can we not talk about that? But he was. He was the number 3 overall pick of the draft. Caleb Downs kind of puts it over the top. And I thought, Lathan Ransom was fantastic as well. I'm going to go Ryan Day team.
Okay, if we're going Ryan Day team, that means position groups. We have 2 Ryan Day. We have 2 from Jim Tressel's era. We have 2 from John Cooper's era. And we have 2 from Urban Meyer's era. It's a tie. 4-way tie, Dave.
Got a lot of interesting takes in the chat. And I guess it's debatable. Is Troy Smith was he a running quarterback? And I think you could look at this 2 ways. We have somebody in the chat saying, yeah, he was a running quarterback. He just didn't do it as much as a senior because he wanted to show he was a pocket passer. That's true. You look at it. I mean, he played 8 games his second year. He had 339 rushing yards. Not bad in 8 games. And then his 4th-year junior season in 2005, he had 611 rushing yards. And again, in college, they shouldn't do it like this, but they do it. Sacks count against your rushing yards as a quarterback. They don't do it like that in the NFL. He had 11 rushing touchdowns in 2005. Then the year he won the Heisman, only 204 rushing yards, 2.8 yards per carry, just 1 rushing touchdown. I could go either way on that. Was he? I considered Troy a guy that definitely could run the ball effectively, but I wouldn't consider him a running quarterback.
I'm with you.
I feel like I'm being like I'm going heavy on semantics there, but
yeah, a great runner, but I wouldn't say that was his number 1 ability. That was not what for Troy Smith. It was all around, right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. There was no he could run the ball, but he was also a great passer. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I wouldn't say specifically, running quarterback.
But I understand what the gentleman in the chat was saying, because you look at it, I mean, his
dual threat.
Yeah, exactly. Man, this is a lot of fun, and it's funny looking back on this. And I was never a John Cooper fan, for obvious reasons, but you do have to wonder if the current rules existed. Would he have won a national title? And probably he would have.
That's so true. Let's say you had even the 4-team playoff. If you had the 4-team playoff, how many more at-bats would John Cooper have gotten to win a national championship?
The problem is, though, with that logic,
struggled in bowl games?
Yeah. I know a lot of people will say, well, other than the Michigan game, Cooper was great. It's like, well, yeah, he was 2-10-1 against Michigan, but we have to remember he was 3-8 in bowl games. And that means twice he missed a bowl game. Twice he didn't even play in a bowl game. His first year, they were 4-6-1
Throw that out.
I don't really put that on him in 1988. As he said, he inherited a lot of slow guys. He said a little bit more than that, but he's like, I inherited a lot of slow guys. I'll leave it at that. But then there was another year they didn't make it in 99. One of the bowl losses was against Air Force in the Liberty Bowl. So I can sit here and say, listen, if they had the current rules right now, Cooper would have won a national title. Would he have? Because he was 3-8 in bowl games. And I still think he probably would have.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Because having so many at-bats from 93 to 98.
98, I believe that team would have won.
96 would have won if they would have beaten Michigan, a very average Michigan team. At the Horseshoe, they lost 13-9. That was the Springs Slips game.
I mean, if 95 gets into a playoff, and I know that they was that the year that Nebraska was amazing, was 95?
Probably, yeah.
So maybe
Penn
they
State
don't win it all.
in '94 because Nebraska got the national, a outright national championship. Penn State should have been at least a co-national champion that year. What happened there was Penn State was number 1. They beat Ohio State 63-14, which then Urban Meyer returned the favor, in 2013, beat Penn State 63-14. But I'll never forget that in '94, Penn State beat Ohio State. And I'm like, that was a great Penn State team. And then they had a game against Indiana. It was at Indiana in '94. So Penn State's the number 1 team in the nation. Nebraska's number 2. And Penn State had a big lead against Indiana. And then Indiana scores 2 late touchdowns in the 4th quarter to kind of make it look respectable. Penn State then dropped from number 1 to number 2 because of that. Because people just saw the score that was a close game. Penn State dominated, pulled their starters. I'm not one here to defend Penn State, but they should have been co-national champions that year. They dropped to number 2. And then they go on, they kick butt the rest of the year. They dominated Oregon in the Rose Bowl. They never, ever, ever moved back to number 1, and Nebraska stayed there the entire time.
So I take back that they probably would have won the playoff in 1995 because that was an all-time Nebraska team. So that was a bad call by me because I remember that Nebraska team and how ridiculously good that team was. So I don't think they would have won that playoff. But I think you're right. I think 96 they would have had a great shot. Florida ends up number 1. In the 98, I'm pretty darn sure that team, if there's a 4-team playoff or a 12-team playoff, that Ohio State team is probably the best team in the country also.
Definitely. And they beat Texas A&M in the Sugar Bowl that year to close the season. 96, they beat Arizona State. If they would have beat Michigan, they would have been national champs. They would have been undefeated national champs because assuming they would have still beat Arizona State in the Fiesta Bowl. All right. Up next, my friends, is Scotty Doesn't Know. This is Rothman and Ice.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorrento. Pay 0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia. Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details and A3126.
Leon was about to leave the military.
My biggest concern was, what am I going to do next?
He found out about My Computer Career and their military transition program.
The Cyber Warrior program takes you from not knowing anything about a computer at all to being a subject matter expert.
How long is that going to take?
In the span of 4 months, I was able to get 4 different certifications.
4 months? Leon's advice?
Highly recommended.
Become a certified cyber warrior in just months at mycomputercareer.edu. This is one student's experience. Individual results vary. VA education benefits available to those who qualify.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
McDonald's is putting value back on the menu. Whether you're craving a Big Mac, McNuggets, or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, make it a meal and save. Your favorite is now your wallet's favorite, too. Extra value meals are back.
For a limited time, get an $8 Big Mac Extra Value Meal, complete with a medium Coke and medium fries. Promotion pricing may be lower than meal pricing. Price of participation may vary.
How many of you have had your garage floor done? I'll wait for the answer. Yeah, that's enough. How many of you think it looks like crap? That's because it is crap. One quick call to Comer & Cross Concrete Floor Coatings at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, and they can install a gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor in one day. A Comer & Cross garage floor is the gold standard. It's like pulling into a new car showroom every night. And here's the best part. It is guaranteed your garage floor will never chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. And listen, you lazy bum, they'll even take the stuff out of the garage for you. They're all certified uniform pros, no subcontractors at Comer & Cross. This is a premier product with premier results, and they hired a premier endorser to tell you about it. For your quick and easy Comer & Cross garage floor quote, call 1-800-NEW-FLOOR now. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to comercross.com, COMER cross.com.
Hi, radio listener. Are you having a stressful day? Do you want to unwind before you go home to your annoying family? Good news. You can spend time with our annoying family, Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Weston Air Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice on 97.1 The Fan.
Welcome back to Rothman and Ice. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas filling in for Anthony and Maddie. Isaiah Jacob at the controls filling in for Cole. And right about now, it is time for one of our favorite segments on our Sunday show on the money. It is called Scotty Doesn't Know. Hit it, Isaiah. And Isaiah, you're going to crack up at this. Like during the break, Scotty's like, you should probably explain to the audience like what this segment means. I'm like, I think they'll figure it out. Like I'm going to say things that Scotty doesn't know. And then Isaiah's going to play like the funny clips from probably the best cameo in film history. Matt Damon singing Scotty Doesn't Know in Euro Trip.
Yeah.
All right, so these are Scotty Doesn't Know group of 6 conference teams. I'm going to name like various group of 6 college football teams, and he has to tell me what league they are in. Are they in the American? Are they in the Pac-12, which is a thing again, kind of? Mountain West?
No longer the Pac-2?
Sun Belt? MAC, and I took most of the MAC teams off the board, by the way. I think you know where Bowling Green is and your Ohio University Bobcats, and then Conference USA. So those are the 6. American, Mountain West, Pac-12, Sun Belt, MAC, Conference USA. Let's kick things off with Air Force.
Mountain West.
Nailed it.
Yep. My neighbor's a big Air Force guy, so I've watched a little and bet a little Air Force football with him.
Liberty,
I'm going to go with, gosh, I'm between Sun Belt and the American. Let me go the American Conference.
Wrong.
American. It's not the American. It's Sun Belt. Got to be Sun Belt. Fun Belt.
Nope. Do you think the listeners have caught on yet what this segment's about?
It's Conference USA.
Yeah, Conference USA. There you go. All right, here's one for you. Texas State.
Texas State.
Your clue is this is tough. Until I was putting a list together, I was like, oh yeah.
Texas State has got to be in the Sun Belt. No.
Oh goodness.
Not Mountain West.
Think
right?
Opposite of geography, kind of. I don't know how else
American.
No.
They're in the Pac-12. You're tricking me.
Pac-12.
Oh!
I was trying to help you. Yes, Pac-12. Yeah, you got it. All right.
Texas in the
listen.
Pac-12. Interesting.
Ridiculous.
Focus here.
Okay.
Navy
is in the American.
Yes.
I know that one.
Yes, go America. All right, App State. You've mentioned this league a few times, but you haven't got one right yet from this league.
Sun Belt.
Yes. The Fun Belt.
Okay.
All right, Western Kentucky, WKU.
Western Kentucky. It feels like they're on like the CBS Sports Network all the time. And so I think that's Conference USA.
Nailed it. Nice job.
Bet a couple of their games.
Interesting one here because they switched conferences.
Okay.
Northern Illinois. They were in the MAC.
They're not in the MAC. Oh, shoot. They're not in the MAC.
Get that 10-second delay.
They are in the Mountain West, right?
Nailed it. Nailed it. I should have given it. I should not have given him a clue, Isaiah.
Yeah, that was nice.
I would have. What am I doing? Memphis.
Memphis is American.
Nailed it. Boise State.
Boise. I know they moved in the Big 12. Or Pac-12. Pac-12.
Whoa.
Pac-12.
Yeah,
Pac-12. We'll give it to him.
By the way, how many are in the Pac-12?
8.
8. All right. Okay.
The Pac-12 has 8. The Big 10 has 18. Who cares? And, we have the ACC with Cal and Stanford in it. And I know it's weird, the Big 10, to some people have, like, the West Coast schools. But at least it's the Big 10, not like the Midwest 10. The Atlantic Coast Conference, having Stanford and Cal and SMU is hilarious to me, especially Stanford and Cal. All right. Sacramento State.
I know that they are in the Mid-American Conference.
Yes, you nailed it.
MAC football. MACtion.
I thought I was going to trick you with that one.
Nope.
They took Northern Illinois spot in the MAC. All right, Jacksonville State.
That sounds like a Conference USA written all over it.
Got it. All right, JMU, Cradle of Coaches. They've taken over the title from Miami University.
A college football playoff team. Who did they represent?
Shoot.
JMU.
I'm going to go with the American. No. They didn't win the American. The Sun Belt.
Yep.
Oh, yes.
Got it. All right, San Jose State.
That's Pac-12.
No.
It's got to be the WAC.
WAC is not a thing anymore.
We'll cross them off then.
It's Mountain West.
Mountain West.
All right, Brian Hartline's South Florida team, USF.
They are in the American.
Yeah. Man, you know your American
I
conference
love
pretty
American
well.
football.
All right, Oregon State.
Oregon State is Pac-8. Pac-12.
Pac-12, yep, got it. I didn't even know this team was Division I, but they are. Kennesaw State.
Boy, that sounds like a Conference USA written all over it.
Nailed it. I also didn't know this team. Actually, I did know this team because their quarterback last year transferred to Wisconsin. I actually like him. Old Dominion.
ODU. Gosh, that's fun. That's Sun Belt.
That is. Nice job. You're doing good.
He's
All
killing it.
UConn.
UConn is the American.
It's kind of a trick. No. The trick
Don't
question.
give him hints. He's killing it.
He is doing well. UConn Huskies. Big East is not a thing in football.
No. They're not Sun Belt. That wouldn't make any sense. They're not. They didn't go to the MAC.
Should I give them a clue?
Give me the MAC. No. Are they MAC? Did they join Sacramento State? Oh, I know it. They're independent.
Yes.
Oh, God, that's so stupid.
Your clue was going to be.
That was a dumb one.
Your clue was going to be Notre Dame. They're the only two left. They're independent. You look at Phil Steele's magazine. There used to be like 5 or 6, the independent. Now it's just Notre Dame and UConn. All right.
Some storied programs there.
New to FBS this year after dominating 1AA/FCS for the last few years, North Dakota State. First year in
Conference USA.
The big leagues. No. This is more geographically aligned.
Mountain West.
Mountain West. Yep, you got it. All right. Blue. Again, I didn't know they were. They used to be D1AA.
I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know that they were Division I.
The Blue Hens.
Well, I'll go USA. Conference USA.
That's a good call. Good call. UT San Antonio, where we got Devin McEwen from. UT San Antonio.
And I watched them play in the bowl game.
You knew Devin McEwen was going to be a stud.
And he looked like a stud.
You're like, that's a Buckeye
and
right there.
And I think that he is in I think they were in the Sun Belt.
No.
That's got to be Conference USA then.
Nope.
No. The heck else could it be?
It's the conference you said you knew really well.
Oh, the American.
The American. Yeah. It's the Canadian. No, it's the American. All right, Fresno State.
That feels like Pac-12 territory.
Nailed it. All right, Louisiana. They used to go by Louisiana Lafayette.
Sun Belt.
Nailed it. FIU, Florida International.
Ooh. I'm between USA and Sun Belt. I want to get this one.
Go with your first instinct.
Conference USA.
Nailed it. All right, UMass.
I think they're MAC.
Yes. Nice job. I only gave you 2 MAC, and you got them both. Nice job.
Except I thought UConn was in the MAC.
UNLV. That's true.
UNLV has got to be Pac-12.
No. I kind of was surprised they didn't join.
So they were in the Mountain West. So I assume still Mountain West?
Mountain West, yep. Nice job. Temple, that feels like it's either USA or it's American. Let's go American. Nailed it.
Yeah.
Washington State.
I know that's Pac-8, 12, 2, whatever.
Nailed it. Oh. Coastal Carolina.
Who was that quarterback out of there that was really good a couple years ago? Coastal Carolina. I feel like that's the American.
No.
Conference USA.
No.
Coastal Carolina would be the Sun Belt.
There you go. All right. UTEP. Texas El Paso.
Mountain West.
Nailed it. Underrated venue, might I add. Home of the Sun Bowl. I mean, it's kind of dug into like a mountain. Yeah, I think UTEP's got a pretty cool little stadium there. UAB. Alabama Birmingham.
American.
Nailed it. Couple more here, and we got to take a break. Utah State.
Did they? Let's go Mountain West.
No.
They're Pac-12 now, aren't they? Stupid. That's so tough to know.
I know. These are tough. Georgia Southern. It's
Sun Belt.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Yeah. Nevada.
That was Mountain West, but I'm wondering if they are Pac-12 now. I'm going to go Pac-12.
No.
Mountain West.
All right. First 2 hours of the show are in the books. We're going to come back with another hour. We're going to do a little bit more Scotty Doesn't Know. We're going to talk NFL. We're going to talk Ohio State football and much more. This is Rothman and Ice on the...
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
This Hall of Fame moment takes a look at a very productive month for an outfielder who only played with the club for one season. On February 2nd, 1999, the Reds would make a deal with the San Diego Padres to acquire 34-year-old three-time All-Star Greg Vaughn. The left fielder would play in 153 games for the Reds that season, hitting .245, driving in 118 runs, and belting 45 home runs. A large percentage of those in the month of September.
Jose Jimenez checks in with Castillo and pitches, and a high fly ball hit to center field. Going back at the wall, the center fielder gone. A home run, Greg Vaughn. Number 43 for Vaughn. He got that baby up in the air. It continued to carry, and Joe McEwing just ran out of room. Home run, center field, Greg Vaughn, 3-1 Cincinnati. How about that? That home run for Vaughn ties the one-month club record. Frank Robinson hit 14 home runs in August of 1962, and Greg Vaughn has hit 14 home runs in September of 1999 to tie the club record.
This Hall of Fame moment is brought to you by Western and Southern Financial Group, life insurance, retirement, and investments.
Nothing annoys me more than wasting time. Scotty Vegas here, and I want to be golfing or playing tennis or betting on people golfing and playing tennis. I hate waiting on an oil change, but that's all changed. Krieger Ford, the car buying experience was amazing. The service, just as good. I left my Bronco in the driveway and easily scheduled an oil change at KriegerFord.com, and they even came right to me and changed it. All game changer, the Krieger Ford experience. Experience that at KriegerFord.com.
Jerry, I've made a decision.
Aaron, are you giving away free services again?
Well, yeah. How did you know?
I haven't been able to quit thinking about your AC piggy bank.
Get Eco.
ECO. We work to extend the life of their old air conditioner and then give back all the money we were paid to do it.
Up to $1,500.
When they need to buy a new system.
Jerry, I'm getting ready to do something like that again.
Get Eco.
ECO.
When we replace a water heater, I'm instructing all the Eco plumbers to give our customers up to $500 in free repairs before they leave the house.
$500 in free services that same day?
There's lots and lots and lots of things our plumbers can do for $500 or less.
And Eco is going to do these things for free when people buy a water heater?
Yeah, whatever they want for free.
That same day?
Same day.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Give it away, plumbers, genius electricians, and gonna make you cool again, HVAC technicians.
Go to geteco.com.
Hi, guys. This is the Rocket Roger Clemens. You don't pitch in the majors for 24 years without feeling it later. Shoulders, elbows, knees. Trust me, pain doesn't retire when you do.
That's baseball legend Roger Clemens.
I tried the ice. I tried rest, PT, nothing really worked. When I heard about QC Kinetics, the concept sounded promising. Non-surgical regenerative treatments that help your body heal itself without surgery. Sign me up, just what I needed, real lasting relief.
Whether you're a former pro, a weekend golfer, or just want to walk around pain-free again, QC Kinetics uses cutting-edge technology and natural biologics to help restore and repair damaged tissue.
I trusted them with my joints. Now I'm back doing what I love.
Call QC Kinetics today and schedule your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
380-208-4544.
State Fair food is getting smaller and pricier.
We'll have room for fried cookies.
Okay, you'd never overspend on food. What's your deal?
What's his deal? He went to Metro and got $450 in value on the new Samsung Galaxy A37 5G for free and no activation fees.
Free phone? Oh, sign me up.
Get that more for your money feeling. Only on Metro by T-Mobile.
For your number and activate $40 period plan. $450 based on device discount, waived activation fee. Not available with Metro T-Mobile in the past 180 days.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason.
Awesome.
There's only one Morgan & Morgan. For the people.com. Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Broadcasting live from the McDaniel GM Superstore Studios. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. WBNS HD1 Columbus.
Good afternoon. I'm Tyler Danberg. Ohio State football closed its 7th fall practice today. Afterward, defensive coordinator Matt Patricia expressed his excitement working with new offensive coordinator Arthur Smith.
We're just so blessed and lucky to be here at Ohio State with Coach Day, who brought us both in from the NFL, kind of let us get that joy of coaching, and watching him maybe go through that a little bit of what I was experienced last year is kind of fun.
Buckeyes are now 23 days from facing Ball State in their series opener. Baseball in progress. Bottom of the third from Chicago. Reds trail the White Sox 4-3. Bottom of the third from Detroit. Guardians trail the Tigers 1-0. This update sponsored by Germain Toyota. For unbeatable service and sales, visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net. Breaking sports news when it happens right here with the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and I feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Orthopedic One, Central Ohio's most trusted orthopedic practice. Find a physician or location near you at orthopedic1.com.
Welcome back to Rothman and Ice. 97.1 The Fan, Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas, Isaiah Jacob. We are filling in for the A-team. Anthony, Maddie, and Cole have the day off today, so we are happy to fill in. All right, time for a deeper dive. I think there's so many interesting stories out of Ohio State's training camp so far. I think we're going to look back on Arthur Smith's hire as maybe the biggest storyline, because what happened 2 years ago with Chip Kelly. I thought that was a perfect situation. Very similar, not that they're schematically similar, but former NFL head coaches, guys that have called plays for many years. Ryan Day can kind of take a mini step back and be more of a CEO, even though, Scotty, we know he's going to be heavily involved with the offense. But I think Arthur Smith was a home run hire, and I really liked what I heard from him yesterday.
I do too. And, it's funny because I still remember where I was. I was down in Florida when I got the news. And actually, somebody I was with got the news. He's like, "You'll never guess who Ohio State hired as the offensive coordinator." And I started naming off names, because it felt like, okay, we generally have a good idea of the names that were going to be talked about. And I named off 4 or 5 names that I didn't get to Arthur Smith. And so it was kind of a shocking hire, right? It kind of came out of nowhere. But then once you think about it, and it's like, the experience and kind of everything that we're hearing about the toughness that he plans on bringing back to the offensive line and the running game. And you think about how this team is practicing more play action, and how you talked about the cadence, like the quarterback cadence and things like that, and little details that we're used to at the NFL level, and what he can bring back in the experience. I think I'm with you on it being a home run hire.
Yeah, and the Miami defensive linemen were talking about this after the quarterfinal game. They're like, we knew their cadence. They always went on 2, and they would run the clock down. So it's already tough business to try and face that defensive line against Miami last year. When they know your cadence, they pretty much know where you're going to snap the ball. That makes it extra tough. And Arthur Smith talked about that a lot. He wasn't going to throw anybody under the bus that had anything to do with that last year. He gave a very diplomatic answer, but he also talked about before he was asked specifically about if that hurt Ohio State in the postseason last year, which basically he said yes without saying yes. He gave a really detailed answer about, like, we're going to mix the cadence up this year. We're going to mix our tempo up. I love that. And that sounds pretty basic, but it's one thing Ohio State struggled with last year. Very much at a snail's pace, methodical pace. Didn't mix their cadences up, and little things like that make a big difference in football.
Yeah, and so also a couple of the things that we went over in the first hour, I was asking you some of the camp questions because you've been out there. This is your 25th year on the Ohio State football beat, which is amazing. You do an incredible job over at Bucknuts, and we've gone back and forth on who is going to be running back one, and maybe there won't be an answer. Like, here's the deal. Ohio State was great when they had two great running backs. And, of course, Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, and winning the national championship. And so, ideally, you have two running back ones. You have Bo Jackson and you have Isaiah West. I kind of tried to pin you down on which running back you could see getting more carries and more yards throughout the year. And when I asked you on Sundays on the Money Show, you said Isaiah West. And when I asked you today, you said Bo Jackson.
Flip-flop.
So it's either, I mean, it's hard to tell.
I had to, be honest, though. The more I thought about it, because I did say that on Sunday's show, and I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I mean, right now, let's say we had to bet. I think it's going to be really close. It's probably going to come down to who stays healthiest between those two, because I think they look at those two right now as 1A and 1A, just like they did, as you mentioned, Quinshon and Travion. Quinshon had a few more carries than Travion, but it was pretty much split. I think that's the plan right now. And they like Jacoby Jackson a lot, too. He's going to be not your typical third-string back. That was a good get in the portal. Seventh-year senior. That's something that's going to be going away after this year. They have two seventh-year seniors on their team. Hunter Welsing, the tight end from Northwestern, and Jacoby Jackson, the running back they got from Florida. I really think it's going to be 1A and 1A. But right now, if I had to bet, I think Bo Jackson will lead the team in rushing, but it's going to be really close.
And I tried to pin you down on what Buckeye are we not talking a ton about in the preseason that you think will bust out? Because it seems like every year there's a guy that, gets undercovered a little bit. I know with Ohio State, we have so many guys and there's so many different people who talk and cover Ohio State football, but there's always a guy that busts out during the season. And I asked you about it, and for you, your answer was James Smith. And I loved it because we were out at camp together and we saw James Smith and the personality on that guy. And even more so, the build. I mean, that guy, just watching him, he was being interviewed on Bishop and Friends, and he was right in between Eric and Bo. And Eric and Bo looked like little tiny kids next to James Smith. It was incredible. And just the personality and all that stuff. So he was your breakout candidate. And then I thought what else was interesting and kind of been talked about a lot about this camp is who exactly is wide receiver 2. And your answer, I don't think is going to surprise a lot of Buckeye fans, but it's not Brandon Ennis.
Yeah, I went with Devin McHugh, I think Brandon Ennis is going to have a really good year. But right now, again, if I had to bet, I think Devin McHughen's going to be second on this team in receiving yards and probably receptions as well. He's been so impressive. And again, I'm not down on Brandon Ennis at all. And those that are wondering about Chris Henry Jr., he's going to play a lot. I think Brock Boyd's going to see the field a decent amount. They're really deep at receiver. Jeremiah Smith turned heads at Big Ten Media Days when he said, this is the deepest wide receiving core we've had since I've been here. Everybody's like, wait, what? You lost Carnell Tate. You lost guys to the portal. Both Quincy Porter and Mylan Graham went to Notre Dame. BP Miller went to Washington. They lost other guys as well. But I tell you what, they did a really good job bringing McEwen in, getting a couple of, really 3 freshmen. Because they like Jaquaden Guilford as well. So you have Chris Henry Jr., you got Brock Boyd, who catches everything, and was so underrated. He was a 3-star recruit, which is crazy because he didn't like going to recruiting camps. He tore it up at the highest level in Texas. He went to a powerhouse program in Texas and was phenomenal. Was ranked as the number 100 wide receiver in the country by the recruiting services. It's if Brian Hartline wants you, you should automatically be at least a 4-star. But I really like this wide receiving core. All right, let's hop back to some Scotty doesn't know. We're talking about group of 6 conferences. I'm going to name a team, and Scotty has to say what group of 6 conference they are from.
And I did pretty okay.
I thought you did good.
I felt all right about what I did the last segment.
Is that fair, Isaiah? I
was impressed.
Yes,
I was
too.
way better than I thought you were going to.
Oh, thank you. Right. I don't know if that means you felt very, very low of me.
You know where the bar is, Scotty.
Very low.
Let's start with a team in Philly. This is where Ryan Day got. This is not Temple. That's not Temple. This is Tulane. I should put my reading glasses on. Tulane.
Oh, Tulane.
We're going New Orleans, not Philly.
That's got to be Conference USA.
It's American.
Oh. The bar's getting lower.
Colorado State.
That's a Mountain West school.
No.
We spoke too soon.
You really jinxed me in there.
Pac-12. We'll go kind of we'll speed this up a little bit. A little lightning round here. Troy,
that's Sun Belt.
nailed it.
Yes.
New Mexico,
New Mexico, I feel like, is probably Mountain West.
nailed it. New Mexico State.
New Mexico State is Conference USA.
Yes. There he goes. He's back on a roll now. East Carolina.
American.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go. San Diego State, the Aztecs.
Okay, they're either Mountain West or they got shipped to the Pac-10, 8, 12, 2. I'm going to go Pac-10, 8, 12, 2.
There you go. You nailed it. Pac-12, which has 8 teams.
8. Marshall is American.
No, Sun Belt.
Sun Belt. Are you sure?
Yeah. Hawaii.
Hawaii is Mountain West.
Yes. Tulsa,
which is... I'm going to go American.
Nailed it. Sam Houston State.
Sun Belt.
Nope, Conference USA. Just a few more here. Wyoming,
that's Mountain West.
Yes, nailed it. Florida Atlantic. In beautiful Boca Raton, Florida.
Florida Atlantic's got to... They're either Conference USA or they're American. Let me go American.
Yes. All right. North Texas.
Sun Belt.
No, American. Army.
American.
Yes. 2 more. Southern Miss.
Southern Miss is Conference USA.
No.
American.
Sun Belt. Last one.
All right.
Middle Tennessee State.
Middle Tennessee. That's Conference USA written all over it.
Yes. Nailed it.
And are you sure about Marshall? Double check that, as Isaiah.
Yeah. Or the Thundering Herd. Are they Sun Belt?
I don't think so.
They've bounced around a lot. They used to be in the MAC. They used to be 1AA. Then they were MAC.
That doesn't sound right to me.
Let's
Sun Belt.
see here. You got Marshall?
Marshall, the Thundering Herd.
Not Sun Belt.
They're in the Sun Belt.
Oh.
They are in the Sun Belt.
Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know.
So don't tell Scotty.
All right.
Keep going with the song, Dave.
Up next is
Fiona.
Up next is pre-snap reads. This is Rothman and Ice.
Where can you listen to the #1 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes? On Columbus's #1 station. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Using chat to research replacement windows and doors? Well, forget the prompts. Look up Window Nation. Right now, you can get 50% off all window styles, plus 0 down, 0 interest, and no payments for 2 years. Get a free quote at windownation.com today. Window Nation, they're the real deal.
Every year, summer ends and the kids go back to school. This year, I'm going back too, at My Computer Career. They'll help me get the skills and certifications that can get me noticed by top employers in months, not years. Now I'm on a fast track to a high-demand IT career where the rewards can finally match my value. Visit mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. That's mycomputercareer.edu. It's never too late to go back to school.
Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
One bite in, you'll be saying, that's hot as fire. Speedway's new Hot as Fire chicken sandwich turns up the temp. Eat the heat for $4.99 only at Speedway. Valid through 8/25/26. Participating stores. Exclude Speedy Cafe. See app for full terms.
CEC Turf and Tractor is growing. We're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations. Same hometown service you trust, now with the strength of one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today.
How do you know you got a great deal? You came to Coghlan Chevrolet. Lease a new 26 Trax, only $129 a month. Lease a new 26 Silverado, $369 a month. Or get 0% financing and no payments for 90 days. Visit CoghlanChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Coghlan has the car for you.
36-month lease, $44.98. Due at signing includes $398 fee plus tax, title, and registration. 10,000 miles per year, 25 cents per mile over. 0% for 60 months equals $1667 per 1,000 finance with approved credit through GM Financial. See dealer for details. Ends 8/31/26.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
There are lots of ways you could celebrate America's 250th year. Epic fireworks, adopting your own bald eagle, treating your coworkers to a very special rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. Or you could just go to America250ohio.org, where you'll find tons of cool events in counties all over Ohio that celebrate America and the big role our state played in its history. Start your celebration at America250ohio.org. Sponsored by the Ohio History Connection, aired by the OAB and this station.
Hi, I'm Connie Britton. I support Feeding America because they help provide over 6 billion meals to people in need each year. Learn more at feedingamerica.org. Feeding America, 200 food banks strong.
Helping a new driver get ready for their road test? Here's a convenient new way to make the most of your 50 hours of required practice driving time. The Road Ready Ohio app, available now at no cost to new drivers and their families. Road Ready Ohio keeps track of your driving experience together, providing feedback and safe driving tips. It even generates the documentation you need for the Ohio BMV. The Road Ready Ohio app. Free to download in the Apple and Google App Stores.
Hi, I'm Josie. My daughter turns 5 today. Blow out the candles. I'm also an Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can get home to celebrate with my daughter.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Let's all give them room to work. When you see flashing lights, remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Join our degenerate gamblers Steve Biddle and Scotty Vegas every Sunday morning at 9 for On the Money.
Presented by Krieger Ford. Your best bet for a new car or truck. Visit Krieger Ford on Morse Road today or go online at KriegerFord.com.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see a partly cloudy sky for the rest of the day. Watching for a chance of showers and a few thunderstorms to arrive toward the evening hours out of the west. Otherwise, it'll be a humid afternoon with highs in the mid-80s. Chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms overnight. Could be a localized downpour with lows around 70. For the day tomorrow, chance of showers and storms mainly in the morning. Otherwise, partly to mostly cloudy and 82. For the Fan, I'm 10 Weather Impact meteorologist Justin Gertz.
The Big Nine was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy today at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
So when Michigan hired Kyle Whittingham, I was a little disappointed because, to be honest with you, I've always liked Kyle Whittingham from afar. Thought he's done a great job at Utah. And it's been interesting because over the last couple weeks, they have been asking, the media have been asking Michigan coaches, Michigan players about the Ohio State and Michigan rivalry. And it kind of got started during Big Ten Media Days where Kyle Whittingham kind of said, look, I don't hate Ryan Day. I think Ryan Day's a good person. And yes, it's a rivalry, but I don't hate them is kind of what he had to say at Big Ten Media Days. And then we've gotten a little bit further now, and Michigan quarterback Bryce Underwood was asked about the game. And Isaiah, we've got some audio from that. And I find it very interesting. Go ahead and play that.
Yeah, we got him with John Fana. This is from NBC Sports.
How do you define the game?
It's a blessing to be in. Very physical. Like I said, it's all around taxing mentally. Physically, you got to stay strong mentally. You got to stay strong physically. You can't quit. Can't give up.
When you think about your first meeting with Ohio State, what comes to mind?
I lost. So that's all it is.
Does that drive you?
I mean, my goal is to be 1-0 every day, Saturdays, I want to be 1-0. Sundays, I want to be 1-0. Mondays, I want to be 1-0. So that's what drives me.
How much different is that game from any other you've played in?
It's just another game, just with guys in a different color.
Just another game with guys in a different color. Man, I can't believe that came out of his mouth. And you're right. It was a loss. It was a loss, Bryce. But how shocked were you, Dave, to hear Bryce Underwood kind of just downplay it? Just another team in a different color.
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of almost understand him downplaying a little bit. I think he went way too far there, way too far. I respect Kyle Whittingham, where he's coming from. He's not, as he said, he's like, I'm not going to say I hate the guy because I would just be lying to you guys. He's like, you can still have an intense emotional rivalry without hating the other team. And he did really well. He was 11-6 against BYU, which is a big rivalry. Utah and BYU obviously is a big rivalry. He was 11-6. And he said, I didn't hate BYU. I didn't like him. But I think he actually went to BYU, so that might have played a role in him not hating BYU. But I thought Bryce Underwood's statements were weird. I thought Kyle Whittingham's statements were, like, completely understandable.
Yeah.
He's that type of guy. Like, as he said, he's like, hate's a strong word. But Bryce Underwood just doesn't seem to get it. I mean, and I'm talking about all around, not just the rivalry. Saying things like, I'm the best quarterback to come out of Michigan. Was he talking about, like, high school quarterback out of Michigan? He's talking about the University of Michigan? You're better than Tom Brady? He just doesn't seem to get it, man. I will not be surprised at all. I'm talking this year if Tommy Carr beats him out. I don't think he's going to start the year off as a starter. Tommy Carr did not have anywhere near the fanfare coming out of high school as his older brother C.J. Carr did, who was one of the Heisman favorites, might be the Heisman favorite at Notre Dame. And Tommy Carr looked good in the spring. Maybe it was just like he didn't look as bad as Bryce Underwood, but you talked like Michigan people, and they're like, yeah, Bryce didn't look very good. He was very underwhelming last year. Now, you do wonder, like, how much the Sharon Moore situation affected that. They've got a good offensive coordinator. I think Jason Beck is a good offensive coordinator at Michigan. He was at New Mexico 2 years ago, and they had a really explosive offense, and Kyle Whittingham brought him to Utah last year. Did a good job there. So I do think Bryce Underwood will be better this year, but my goodness, Scotty, that's a low bar.
As an Ohio State fan, I loved hearing that out of his mouth. Honestly, as an Ohio State fan, I'd be so angry if that was the comments from my quarterback.
From Julian, if he was out there like, oh, it's just another game, like the different colors, like what?
You know, as a fan, it would always anger me. Like, you're watching a game, and I'm thinking more of like NFL at this point, but where you're a fan of the team, and let's say your team is down big or getting blown out, and they're kind of like smiling or laughing on the sidelines while their team's getting beat up. They're kind of taken out of the game. It just makes me so angry.
We're at home like steam coming out of our ears. They're over on the sideline like, laughing. Like, why aren't you as mad as me?
Well, right. We want our players and our coaches angry, and we want our players to hate Michigan's players. And so, to me, I love seeing that. I love those comments. Just another team in a different color. So that very interesting out of Bryce Underwood. All right, one of the things that we are leading up to the college football season, and we want to talk about commentators because, look, we have a few more weeks until the season starts. And so what do? We see a lot of different people with a lot of different predictions and a lot of different comments, and whether they're picking who the best players in the country are, or if they're picking the teams, or we see a lot of people coming out with their playoff predictions. So what I wanted to do was kind of take some of the biggest names in college football commentators and kind of go through and kind of go with who are the guys that annoy us, who are the guys that we kind of ignore and don't care about, and who are the guys that we just kind of hate. We hate whatever they put out. And I say this and I bring this up because it brings me back when Ohio State was going for the national championship in 2002. And Mark May and Trev Albert, week after week after week, would drive me crazy during their halftime shows or their post-game shows where they would kind of dog Ohio State all the time. And so I would really let those guys get under my skin, and I'd be like, so angry. Gosh, why do these guys hate Ohio State as much as they do? Well, they were trying to get attention. They're trying to get clicks. They're trying to get viewers. So I get it. That's why they do it. But here's a list of guys, and these are all college football commentators that we're either on, that we agree with, that we follow their stuff, or we just completely ignore. So I'm going to start out with Danny Cannell. He's kind of been putting out there a little bit about Ohio State maybe being a 9-3 team this year. It wouldn't shock him if Ohio State doesn't make the playoffs. Where are we on Danny Cannell? Take him, leave him, don't care about him?
Yeah, probably more like don't care. Like, I think he does a solid job. He's definitely an ACC shill, but he was a quarterback at Florida State, so that's understandable. I'm okay with Danny Cannell. I completely disagree at 9-3, and if you feel that way, the over-under is 9.5. Put your money where your mouth is, and you're getting good juice. If you go the under, you want to take the over for Ohio State, you're like minus 160. Yeah, you take the under, it's like plus 120. So if I'm Danny Cannell, I put my money where my mouth is if he really thinks Ohio State's going to be 9-3.
Yeah, I could take or leave Danny Cannell. Like it doesn't bother me that much. What about Josh Pate? Because he has obviously gone big time over the last couple years. You have a little bit of a knowledge of that, but to me, I like Josh Pate, and I love a lot of his ideas. I don't agree with all of his ideas, but I think he is good for the sport and has a lot of good commentary.
I completely agree with that, and I might be a little biased with him being my nephew. Joking there, he's not real, because he used to call me Uncle Dave, so we would joke about that he's my nephew. People are like, is he really your nephew? Like, yeah, no. Again, I think you nailed it. Like, I don't agree with everything Josh says, but I love his passion, and I agree with him more often than I don't. And I love his idea about being the commissioner of college football. I think he'd be a great commissioner of college football if he could do what he wanted to. I like Josh Pate.
How about Joel Klatt? Are we in or out on Joel Klatt?
I don't know. He rubs me wrong for some reason. I do think he's overall good at what he does. I understand why people like him. I don't know. And I know I'm on an island here. I'm not a Joel Klatt fan. I don't hate him or anything. I don't hate him. Not a fan.
Here's the deal for me with Joel Klatt. There were just so many Ohio State big noon games that I just kind of got tired of him. Like at first, when he first kind of busted on, I'm like, oh, I like this guy. He's back in Ohio State a little bit. And then honestly, I feel like we saw too much Joel Klatt and too many opinions from Joel Klatt. And so I kind of got tired of him. So now I could kind of leave him. Isaiah?
I like Joel. I do. I do understand, though. This past season was a lot of Joel Klatt. We had so many of the Fox Big Nooners, and I feel like Ohio State fans were also kind of sick of the being at noon every time for Fox, and so Joel was just kind of a part of that. Same thing with Gus Johnson. I loved Gus Johnson a couple of years ago, and now I feel like I'm getting him so much that it's the same thing as Joel. It's a little bit less desirable, but I would say I'm still with Joel.
All right, one more, Pat McAfee.
I like McAfee.
I'm in on McAfee, too. Like, I tuned out game day for years.
Right.
Like, honestly, it'd probably been about 10 years. And then I'm tuning in, and he's doing these crazy things like jumping off the high dive. And I'm actually in on McAfee. I think he's brought the fun back.
I don't know how I feel about McAfee. I like some of the stuff he does, and then other times I feel like it's too gimmicky during game day, but I like him overall. I think he's also good for the sport. I think bringing him into College Game Day has made a lot of the other networks try to do different things, which I think is good. I'll say I'm just middle of the road on McAfee. I don't tune into game day for him, but I won't not tune into it either.
I do like the fact that A.J. Hawk is his boy.
Yes.
And people say, well, A.J.'s just on there, never talks. He talks some. He talks some. And when A.J. talks, you listen.
And where are you? I'm curious, where are you on Saban on game day?
I like Saban.
Yeah.
I like Saban.
I'm in on Saban.
Alabama Jones, as one of the great comics in the world calls him. Shane Gillis. Live on the air. Because he was wearing like an Indiana Jones hat.
That's right.
And Saban hated that.
And
yes.
he hated it. It was like the Notre Dame, Indiana playoff game in 2024. And Shane Gillis on the set calls him Alabama Jones. And Saban was like, you could tell he was mad about it. I'm kind of mad about Jaden Daniels. We're going to explain why next. This is Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Anybody can make a good pitch. Hey, friends, Beamer here. Awaken 180 had to prove it. Paige and her coaches stayed involved, kept me accountable, and helped me lose 75 pounds. Support during, support for life, online at awaken180weightloss.com.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family.
Injured? Dial pound law.
Morgan & Morgan, Ohio office located at 600 Vine Street, Cincinnati. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
Some entrances don't go quite as planned, and that was true for rookie Barry Larkin on this August 13th, 1986. The Reds called him up from the minors to make his major league debut, but Larkin's flight was delayed. He didn't reach the clubhouse until 6:30 for the evening game. His new manager, Pete Rose, kidded him. Your first day here, Larkin, you're already late. Barry's equipment didn't make it at all, so Pete had to loan him a pair of shoes. And wearing number 15 and Pete's spikes, Larkin put aside all the hassles and pinch hit in the 5th inning, getting his first RBI in his first major league at-bat. One of the all-time greats, Barry Larkin, debuts this August 13th, 1986, this date in Reds baseball.
This date in Reds baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Whether it's water heater trouble, clogged or leaky pipes, or sub pump worries, Logan Services has you covered. With service calls for just $79. We're fast, friendly, and here to help you with your plumbing projects. Logan Services.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, kids. Anthony once did magic for birthday parties. See, when you say it out loud, it doesn't sound so bad. Back to Rothman and Ice.
I tell you, Scotty, there's people like using the phrase, that's a bad look. Sometimes I think it's overdone. Not with Jaden Daniels right now. Tremendous quarterback for the Washington Commanders, although, great rookie year, fell off a little bit last year, although he was banged up. And you think he probably has bigger things on his mind than being mad that LSU has given his former number 5 to a current player. And he is very upset about this. The current player is corner DJ Pickett, getting the number 5. And Daniels is really upset about this to the point he has sent LSU a cease and desist. It's like, dude, you were there for 1 year. Calm down. I know it was a tremendous year and everything, but this is just a bad look for him.
It's ridiculous, right? I mean, to let it go this far, of all the things you're prepping, you're coming off a season where you were hurt, right? Obviously, your rookie year was incredible, and then you have a injury, and you have a bad second season or a shortened second season, and now you're heading into your third, and this is what you're worried about? That alone, the attention on this doesn't make any sense to me. But then, to actually go as far as a cease and desist order against LSU, to worry that much about it. And there's even reports out there that he's asked the school for the Heisman Trophy that's been on display there. And so this is a really, really weird situation that makes no sense to me and looks pretty stupid.
This is a quote from their spokesman, their family spokesman. Quote, "The Daniels family is deeply disappointed and feels profoundly disrespected by LSU's decision to give Jaden's number to another player." I mean, that's in the petty Hall of Fame right there. Mm-hmm. First ballot.
Yeah.
Unanimous. That is ridiculous. Someone's got to pull him aside and be like, dude, you got to clean this up. This looks really bad. This is making you a laughing stock. And frankly, you should have bigger things on your mind than LSU not retiring your number. And by the way, can you imagine Troy Smith doing this? Because every other Heisman Trophy winner at Ohio State, not only, and Troy is, he's got his number and his name in Ohio Stadium, but they did not actually retire the number 10.
Right.
Because they were starting to run out of numbers. They've had so many Heisman Trophy winners, but everybody else before Troy, it wasn't just oh, we're going to honor you. That number is retired. And I know Andy Katzenmoyer wore 45 because Archie Griffin's a great guy and let him wear it. But we've seen a lot of guys wear number 10 since Troy Smith, including the current quarterback, Julian Sayin, and many others. Can you imagine Troy Smith throwing a fit about this? How bad that would look?
The thing that I love is LSU is going to be so drama-filled, right? This, as an outsider for LSU, is just hilarious for us up here to get to watch this and how this whole thing with Lane Kiffin unfolds and how the season goes when they take on Ole Miss. I mean, this is going to be fun to watch. You bring up Ohio State, and you're right. It's so Troy Smith, obviously his number is honored, but they are not retiring the numbers anymore, which makes sense to me because you're going to start running out. So right now for Ohio State, you have 22 for Les Horvath. You have Eddie George is 27. You have Vic Janowitz is 31. Hopalong Cassidy's 40, 45 for Archie, 47 for Chick Harley, and 99 for Bill Willis. So those are the numbers that were retired. And then you got to Troy Smith, and they're like, okay, at this point, we got to stop retiring numbers based on the number of players that are on the team. So to me, it makes sense. Just honor the player, honor the number. And this Jaden Daniels thing, to me, is just very, very strange.
Very strange. And as you have in our show sheet, you had asked a good question. If Jeremiah Smith happens to win the Heisman this year, and I tend to think Julian if everything goes well, I think he would have a better chance of winning the Heisman than Jeremiah. Unless Jeremiah has a couple of end arounds, or let's say Julian misses a couple games and Tavian has to play. It's possible for Jeremiah to win the Heisman. I just think Julian has a better chance of winning it. But you brought up something good. Jeremiah Smith's already helped Ohio State to a national championship. Maybe he'll help them to get a second national championship. Let's say he wins the Heisman this year. Let's say he wins the Ohio State wins the national championship again. So you have Jeremiah Smith, who will break every meaningful receiving record at Ohio State, 2 national championships, and a Heisman. If it works out this way, should they retire the number 4, or should they do what they did with Troy Smith?
Do what they did with Troy Smith.
I agree.
Right? Just honor the number. Like, I couldn't imagine, like, going forward, no Buckeye would ever be able to wear 4 again. Like, I agree with honoring. I just don't agree with actually, like, retiring the number.
And it would be so disrespectful to Troy. Be like, this is how we're going. Like, we know everybody before you, but we're running out of numbers. So going forward, we're just going to honor the number, not retire it. And then, unless it's J.J. Smith, and we're just going to retire it.
But I love the drama at LSU. Like, this is just the fun for us. It's going to be fun for us to watch all of this unfold at LSU, and it's like a soap opera down there.
And they play at Ole Miss this year.
Oh, yeah. Can't wait for that.
Good old Lane on the way out the door, just making fun of, like, Ole Miss. Like, it's just this guy, dude. I'm telling you what. I will always have a soft spot for Lane Kiffin, though, because Ohio State's playing Alabama, 2014 college football playoff semifinals in New Orleans, Sugar Bowl, and they have the most average quarterback ever at Alabama named Blake Sims. They have an absolute beast at running back named Derrick Henry. He gave Derrick Henry 14 carries that game. He let Blake Sims throw the ball 36 times, including one that was picked off by Ohio State for a touchdown. I just will never, ever, ever talk too much crap about Lane Kiffin because I so respect that awful game plan that he had, letting Blake Sims just air it out and only giving Derrick Henry 14 carries. And by the way, Derrick Henry looked great. It wasn't like, oh, Derrick Henry's struggling. No. He's like just trucking through everybody. I'm like, oh my gosh, I would just give him the ball like Arthur Smith did when he was the offensive coordinator with the Titans. I would give him the ball like 30 times a game and get out of his way. But yeah, the drama in LSU is going to be like through the roof this year. I will say this about LSU. It's pretty darn impressive. You know you're a good program when you win a national title with Les Miles and Ed Orgeron. Like, understandable you win one with Nick Saban. Like, Les Miles won a national title. Unfortunately, it was against Ohio State. Ed Orgeron won a national title there. I mean, they've always had a lot of talent there. It's going to be interesting to follow. I think they're going to fall a little short of expectations this year, but some people are high on them. They'll probably start off top 10.
Yeah, I'm looking back at that box score. And, yeah, you're right. 14 carries for Derrick Henry. Or, I'm sorry, 13 carries.
13 carries.
For 95 yards and a touchdown. 2 catches for 54 yards. Like, I mean, he was unbelievable. And that Alabama team, again, you had Amari Cooper, too, but you had Blake Sims as the quarterback. Hey, one thing we did on Sunday that I loved, we made our predictions, and we're putting a lot on the line here. So we made our predictions for the Big Ten, and we only went 12 deep. We didn't want to go down to like Northwestern and Purdue and the Northwestern and the irrelevant teams like that. But our predictions between you, me, and Isaiah, we all had Ohio State finishing first in the Big Ten, and then Isaiah and I had Oregon at 2 in the Big Ten. You had Indiana. And then flip-flop that. Isaiah and I had Indiana at 3, and then Oregon at 3 for you. So where it got interesting with our Big Ten predictions is at 4, because all 3 of us had different teams finishing 4th in the Big Ten. Isaiah had Michigan. I had Penn State. You had USC. The reason for me on Penn State is schedule, but you're high. You think that USC at 4 could be a playoff team.
Could be. I wouldn't say I'm high on them. I mean, there's a clear tier 1. We would all agree in the Big Ten. There's a clear tier 2 as well. But you look at tier 1 with Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana in whatever order. Clear tier 1. I think there's a clear tier 2 within whatever order, USC, Michigan, and Penn State, those 3. And I actually like tier 3 as well, which has about 7 teams in it. And then tier 4 is like the garbage teams. Yeah, I mean, I could go either way. I am picking USC because I think their offense is going to be explosive this year. I like their quarterback, Jaden Mayava. And it's interesting. Lincoln Riley can't field a defense to save his life, but I am intrigued by the defensive coordinator they hired at USC. Gary Patterson,
yep.
Who's been out of football for a few years, did a really good job for many years as TCU's head coach. I don't know how it's going to work out, but when I saw that, I was like, that's interesting to me. bringing in Gary Patterson as your defensive coordinator. And it's a lot like the Bengals, when we were talking about the Bengals, right? If the USC can just have like a average defense, they could be a big problem this year. If they are the typical USC where they're trying to win games like 50 to 40 every week, that's not going to work out. We'll see if Gary Patterson, and they're going to have talent, as we all know at USC. It's just they always find a way to underachieve defensively, and not just at USC, but like when he was at Oklahoma, same exact deal. I could go either way, and you make a good point with Penn State. Iowa State East, basically, because I think Matt Campbell brought like half of Iowa State's team with them. And their schedule is easy. I mean, you look at it, they miss Ohio State. First time Ohio State and Penn State have not played since Penn State's been in the Big Ten.
Which sucks.
First time, it does kind of suck. First time since 1992 that they will have not played. But they also miss Oregon and Indiana. You couldn't, I mean, James Franklin must be thinking, are you kidding me? I had to play Ohio State every year. Now they don't have to play Ohio State, and they don't have to play the other two like top teams in the Big Ten. I see why you picked Penn State.
Yeah, that's why I went Penn State at 4. And then as far as a sleeper team in the Big Ten, and you kind of like Minnesota a little.
I do a little bit.
A little bit more than I do.
A little bit, yeah, by one spot. For those who don't know, on Sunday's show, I picked Minnesota 9th in the Big Ten, and Scotty's like, "Oh, you're way higher on them than I am." And then Scotty went through his, and he had Minnesota at 10th. I'm like, you think I had them at 9th and you had them at 10th? You think you have? I'm like, way higher than you are on them. But I think initially you had them at 12th. And then hearing me pontificate about Minnesota, I talked you into 10th.
Yeah, the team in the Big Ten that I've got circled that I think could be a little bit surprisingly better and maybe pull off an upset or two, and it's because I like their coach, it's UCLA. That's Bob Chesney to me. I think UCLA made a great hire.
Yes.
Like, I'm not saying it's as good as what Indiana did. All right, I'm not going that far, but I do think this was a really good hire for UCLA, and I think in year 2, year 3 of Bob Chesney, I think they will take a huge step up. But I think that's one team for me to keep an eye on this year, and I think they'll pull one upset that people don't see coming.
And Nico now, as a fourth-year guy, he could now with a 5-for-5 come back next year, and maybe he will with what he's making in NIL. I don't think he'd be a first-round pick.
No,
maybe he would have. He's got the ability. But I think Chesney was a heck of a hire. And I think Penn State, even though I think Matt Campbell was a good hire for Penn State, especially how they went around the world, it looked like they were going to it was like they were going to end up with some coach they didn't even want. They really wanted the BYU coach.
Mm-hmm.
And during that time, they were also looking at Chesney. During that, they thought they were going to get the BYU coach. Chesney was offered the UCLA job and took it. I still think Penn State's going to regret not getting Chesney.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. All right, when we come back, it's Tell the Truth. This is Rothman and Ice.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Hi, I'm Patty, founder of Awesome Tex. I started with a big idea to give old clothes a new life by turning them into recycled fibers and threads. Everyone told me that this was going to be impossible, but Chase for Business believed in me. They gave me a lot of guidance from the beginning.
Get financial guidance from bankers in the Columbus community and convenient digital tools all in one place. Learn more at chaseforbusiness.com. Make more of what's yours. Real customers compensated. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
In the military, the mission was clear. You knew what to do. Now, the mission has changed. Stepping into civilian life isn't about finding a job. It's finding your purpose.
I wanted a career that would leverage the skills and discipline I gained in the military. IT just felt right.
My Computer Career offers class schedules that fit into your life and skills in high demand. Put your VA benefits to work. Visit mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to jumpstart your IT career today. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
What does it mean to live here, serve here in the Ohio Army National Guard?
It means I can attend college full-time and not have to take out student loans to pay for my tuition.
It means I can work my civilian job during the week and support my state and nation in times of need.
You too can live here, serve here as a member of the Ohio Army National Guard. Learn more about part-time service with full-time benefits at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard in coordination with the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Coghlan Kia of Dublin is now open, and we're offering grand opening savings at all 4 Coghlan Kia locations. Get 0% financing on select new 26 Kia Sportage and Sorrento. Pay 0 out of pocket when you lease a new 27 Seltos or 26 Sportage for $375 a month for 36 months. Get grand opening savings at Coghlan Kia.
Coghlan has the car for you.
With approved credit, 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance through Kia Motor Finance. Leases include 10,000 miles per year with 20 cents per mile over penalty. Excludes tax, title, and registration. No security deposit. See dealer for details and 831.26.
Veterans and active duty service members. When your call to service ends, your mission doesn't have to. Go from GI to IT in just a few months at My Computer Career. Prepare for a high-demand career in cybersecurity, protecting people, systems, and institutions from real cyber threats. Cyber warriors are needed now. Will you answer the call? Go to mycomputercareer.edu/CWP to learn more. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP, an elite CompTIA certification partner. VA education benefits are available to those who qualify.
Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account. When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything. Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Football season is here. Make sure your internet is ready. Kinetic's 100% fiber gives you the fast, reliable connection to enjoy live football on YouTube TV and watch up to 4 live games at once with Multiview. Check real-time stats and catch more big plays without missing a snap. Take your game watching to a whole new level. Switch to Kinetic. Save up to $120 on your first year of YouTube TV. Visit GoKinetic.com for details. Subject to availability and eligibility. Terms, conditions, and restrictions apply. Cancel anytime. Kinetic. Internet better.
CEC Turf and Tractor is growing. We're proud to welcome Green & Sons Equipment's Mount Sterling and Marysville locations. Same hometown service you trust, now with the strength of one of Ohio's largest Kubota dealers. Visit CECTurfandTractor.com today.
After my accident, people warned me to slow down. I said, I don't know how. Thanks to my VA care team, I haven't.
At VA, we're using technology to help veterans recover faster and live their lives to the fullest. Learn more at vacareers.va.gov/PSA.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, ooh, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan. All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by McDaniel GM Superstore. Driving excellence since 1916. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Welcome back to Rothman and Ice on the Fan. Final segment of the show. Dave Biddle, Scotty Vegas filling in for the boys. Anthony and Maddie. Isaiah Jacob filling in for our guy Cole.
And yes, Dave, sir. We made it on the under on the rejoins and the teases, not saying on the money. We've been saying Rothman and Ice.
The show's not over yet.
Under a half.
I have to do one more.
That's true. You got one more to go.
One more.
Or you owe us dinner.
I feel like you should slip up and buy us dinner. Okay. What do you think, Isaiah?
If the Bengals win tonight, then Scotty has to buy us dinner.
That's true.
Right.
If this bet hits.
That's true. Scotty with
That's fair.
$4,000 bet on a preseason game. I love it.
Before we do to tell the truth, one bet I want to provide out there, because the three of us have talked about this bet before, but I really like it. Week 1, Notre Dame and Wisconsin. That game's at Lambeau. The current line is 20.5. We want to buy it up to 21.5 and take Luke Fickell. We're on Wisconsin for week 1. We feel really good about it. That's one of our confident early season college football bets.
Yeah, and to be clear, as Scotty said, to cover. We're not picking Wisconsin to win.
No, not money line.
If we did, we'd be getting what, like plus 600?
It's 10-1. I was checking it out. 10-1.
We were guessing 6-1.
We might sprinkle a little bit.
Maybe throw 10 on there.
Notre Dame bad in early season games.
They are.
I don't think they'll show a ton. They just want to get a win and get out. So.
Even the year they got to the national championship game, they lost to Northern Illinois early that year.
Didn't they have a loss to Marshall?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, that was that. They say lost to Ohio State and then lost to, I think those are like the first 2 games for Freeman. Does that sound right?
That sounds
20, 22. And really, he lost his first 3 games because after he took over for Brian Kelly, they lost their bowl game. Then he lost to Ohio State, then he lost to Marshall. Notre Dame fans like, we got to get rid of this guy. And then they're like, no, we love this guy.
Yeah.
After he takes him to the national championship game.
I love the plus 20.5 or moving it up to 21.5. I think it's good value, to tell the truth.
All right, fellas, let's wrap up the show here. Last night, went out to dinner because my electric has been out for like 2 days. So I haven't been able to make anything at home because I've still been without power. Thankfully, it came back on when I got back from the restaurant. But the restaurant that I went to, honestly, I got terrible service. It was brutal. Like, just kind of like forgetting to come check up on us. But they ended up doing us right in the end. They comped a couple things on our bill. But is there ever a time where you get such bad service that you'll actually give less than 20% on the tip? If they perform because at the end of the night, I was like, do I give them 20%? Like, this was pretty brutal. Yet again, thankfully, they comped a couple things on the tip or on the receipt, so it wasn't that big of a deal. So I did end up giving 20%, but it was one of those where I was kind of thinking about it. Do you ever not tip 20%?
I can't think of it because typically they will. Now, maybe if they didn't do you right at the end, that might have been a time I only tipped 15%, which used to be the standard. Now, if you tip less than 20, you look like a fool. I can't remember having that bad a service where I tip less than 20% off the top of my head. I would say for me, maybe at a bar where it takes a while to get your drink type of thing, and they're just getting the drink and you're signing, and I might go a little bit less than 20 on that. But if it's an actual table, and it's a sit down, it's got to be really god awful to go less than 20.
That's what I was thinking too.
Did you go 10%?
I did 20 because they comped the drinks. If they hadn't comped the drinks, then I would have been like, okay.
It was that bad.
It was brutal.
Ooh.
Like, it wasn't only that it was one time that they forgot about us, it was like 3 times that they kept on coming out and going, oh my gosh, we missed you guys again. Like, we're so sorry. And I was like, I mean, you already apologized once for forgetting about us, and the second time around, what are we doing here?
And you're such a nice guy. I remember this from a previous story where you wouldn't send back your wings that were the wrong wings, right?
I'm usually pretty lenient, and the craziest thing was we were sitting on a patio last night, and my dog was there with me. Dogs are allowed at this patio. I'm like, how did you forget about the only table here that has an animal at it?
Yeah.
And they were loving up on Jim when he was there. I'm like, how did you forget about us?
And Jim is your animal.
Jim is the animal, not someone that was there with me. But I was like, how did you forget the table with the dog? You haven't checked up on them in 30 minutes?
Yeah.
But next one here for you guys. Tell the truth. I was thinking a little bit about this because J.J. McCarthy kind of flaming out in the NFL. Kyler Murray taking the number 1 spot for the Vikings. Of the Ohio State players that have went to the NFL that you felt really confident that would pan out, who were you the most surprised that didn't end up having a great NFL career?
Ooh, that's a good one. Maybe Jeff Okudah, drafted 3rd overall. I thought he was really good, especially his last 2 years at Ohio State. I mean, he was fantastic in 2019, hence him being the 3rd pick. You go Vernon Golston, that's another one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, I was convinced he was going to be at least a good NFL quarterback. And maybe that story hasn't been written yet. Watch Mahomes miss 4 games and Fields goes 4-0 with the Chiefs this year. Those are a few, but I probably would go with Okudah.
Yeah, Vernon Golston is a good one. I really thought he'd be great. To be honest, the first name that came to mind, rest in peace, was Dwayne Haskins, right? I honestly thought that, oh my gosh, this curse of Buckeye quarterbacks in the NFL struggling, that it was done. It was going to be over just because of that elite arm and how good he was going to be. And so I would go with Haskins probably for me.
I like that. Actually, he convinced me. I think Haskins is the best.
Because he was, the 6th overall pick? Is that what he went to New York? Was he that high?
No, he went to Washington.
Yeah,
Washington,
and he fell in the draft a little bit.
He was 11th. No, Fields was 11th. Was Haskins Haskins was 12th?
Because Daniel Jones went to the Giants. Everyone
at
thought
6.
Yes, they thought
15.
That's right, 15.
Yeah,
that's
crazy.
And
I remember thinking and maybe I'm right here. I remember thinking the Giants are crazy for taking Daniel Jones over Haskins. I thought Haskins was going to be an absolute stud in the NFL.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one, Scott.
All right, final one for you guys here. Of the Big Ten teams at the top, so we're talking your Ohio States, your Indianas, Penn State, Washington, USC, Michigan. Which one of them do you think is the most likely to underachieve this season?
Ooh. I think I know your answer with Oregon because they have such high expectations. For a lot of people that they're the number 1 team for a lot of people, including Joel Klatt. And you bring up that they've got a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator. So the expectations are so high with Oregon. I could see them not making the Big Ten championship game. So I'm going to say that. And I think you agree with me on that, right?
Yeah, replacing both coordinators is a big deal. Oregon lost both their coordinators. They lost, Tosh went to Cal as head coach and Klein went to Kentucky. And those guys were good coordinators. And they promoted from within. It wasn't like they went out and tried to find the best they could in the country. Yeah, I still think Oregon's going to be really good, but I think they're going to fall just short of expectations.
And hopefully Michigan sucks.
That'd be good. That'd be pretty good. We would like that a lot. All right, guys, thanks for joining us today. I am Dave Biddle. He is Scotty Vegas, Isaiah Jacob at the controls. This has been Rothman and Ice on the
under.
Fan. And up next is Common Man and Timmy.
Tweet from a listener.
Are you carrying the Buckeye game today?
Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.